are now listening to Human Beings.
We're live.
All right. Fireman. Fireman.
Got my boy John on the podcast.
Got the entry music.
Mr. Firefighter himself.
What's up, fellas?
What's up, man? Thank you for coming on, bro. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
You know, and just for the record, we didn't mean to make it hot in here with no AC on purpose because you're a fireman.
But it works out.
But yeah, it works out.
Because
I'm cool. I'm used to hotter temperatures, so it's nothing. Good. We're good.
When you say you're used to hotter temperatures, how legit is that, though? Like, how often are you in some hot shit?
How often? I gotta say, not very often. I mean, the way things are nowadays with new development and technology and stuff.
With like the fire safety stuff.
Yeah, you're not gonna see as many fires unless you're in a zone where you have. I mean, it sucks to say, but like lower income. You know, it's like you're in the hood,
right?
Where people are not paying attention to their fire alarms and they don't have all the safety measures and stuff like that. You're not going to see as many fires. So the zone I'm in right now, I mean, I don't see as many fires. I mean, I did have a fire last shift, but
well, how far was that? How far ago?
Are you able to disclose this information?
That was just 2 days ago. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fire. I'm not giving you address.
Have you had any like crazy firefights? Like since you've been a firefighter? How long have you been a firefighter?
So 3 years now.
3 years.
Yeah, actually in June. So next month I'll be officially 3 years on the job.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how you feeling about it so far, though?
I'm loving it, man.
Because 3 years is like you're just coming out of your beginner entry level phase. Like you're starting to be like the middleman now. You know what I'm saying? I'm guessing based on my experience in like a government rank structure like that. You know, like you're just now probably finishing all your like fundamental training and now getting into leadership training and stuff like that. Do you guys do that kind of stuff?
Yeah. So a lot of your fundamental stuff you're gonna knock out in the fire academy. So fire academy, they're gonna get you all your basics. I mean, like basic training because I know you're military background, right? So you're gonna get all your basic training, and then once you get on the job, depending on what you want to do, you're gonna continue your education. So there's gonna be tons of certifications and stuff like that, classes you can take in order to move up in rank or change a position or do some certain type of, because there's tons of stuff you can do in the fire department, not just fight fire. Depending
because
on
you have to be EMTs, right?
Yeah. So in the state of Florida, you have to be a certified EMT. And you have to be, they call it Fire 1 and Fire 2. So you have to have those two certifications. So Fire 1 will set you up if you're done like wildland fires. The guys
I haven't done them. But
well, I'm saying, you ever seen like,
I do them all the time.
You ever seen a wildland fire?
Yeah.
So the guys who do the wildland fire, they have Fire 1. And then if you want to do Fire 2, then that takes you into structural firefighting.
Right. And
then in the state of Florida, you also have to have your EMT. That's like your basic requirements to be a firefighter in the state of Florida.
Okay.
What's like the what kind of training do they do? Like, do you do like any crazy fire training? Like,
so like in
because
basic,
you know that one. I don't know if you've seen. There's just one video of this firefighter.
Yeah.
That I think I sent to you or you sent it to me, where this guy is running with a ladder and he's going up like 4 stories with the same ladder.
I've seen that before. Yeah, that's crazy.
They do have competitions like that, man, which is really cool. I don't know if I've thought about it, like maybe in the future getting into something like that. But they have the competitions where you can do stuff like, it's not as extreme, I would say, as that.
Yeah,
but they do go into like your day-to-day stuff you would do on the fire ground. But like when you're in fire academy, you're gonna do a lot of there's a lot of book work. So we're in class, and then what we learn in class, we then practice out on the fire ground. So in fire academy, you learn all type of rescue maneuvers. Do a lot of rope training, tying different knots and stuff like that. We do a lot of search and rescue, and a lot of stuff we learn to do without any visuals. So we wear a mask, and inside the lens of the mask, they'll black out. So they'll black it out. So almost everything we do in the fire academy is blindfolded.
Because you can really, when you're in there, you really can't see.
Yeah, because it's to simulate when you're inside of a fire. When you're inside of a fire, the conditions are really bad. A lot of times, there's a lot of smoke, and you can't see anything, dude. I've been in, even like in practice, just training scenarios. We also do a lot of training on a month-to-month basis. Even in training scenarios, man, we had this. It was a smoke machine that they brought just to simulate smoke inside of the building. And I'm in there doing stuff, and I couldn't see. I just it was so
and
hard.
Obviously, you have tanks on when you're in there with the smoke, right? Because it's actual. Is it actual smoke or is it like simulated smoke?
So most of the time during training, it's just gonna be like it's a smoke machine. So it's not.
It's not actual like
It's not
burning
actual
Not as
burning.
thick.
Yeah, like wood or burning.
Okay.
Whatever.
But
it's
you
burning
do
matter.
you on floor training. You do actually have like training setups where they have like a burning car or like a burning building in a
Absolutely.
safe area, and you actually go in to do it, right?
So in Fire Academy, we have different scenarios where they do have a day where we do. It's called a burn day, and they literally have a building that's built to start fires and contain a fire. Like they have tiles on the walls of the building that are the same as a NASA like shuttle launch.
Oh wow!
So those same type of tiles that are in that room are in the fire room. So it's built to contain fire, and they'll literally they'll take pallets and stuff. They'll put them in there. They'll light them on fire. They'll let the temperature get up to like 800 degrees, and then they'll send us in.
It gets that hot in there, huh? Shit. I never really thought about what the temperature.
That's a
is.
little cooler than it is right here.
Nah,
just a little bit. Just a little bit.
I never really, thought about, it's a fire, but you don't think about how hot it is. Like, I keep my house at 74.
Yeah, I hear you.
You're talking 800.
Well, my
degrees.
dad thinks 78 degrees is normal. Would you say 78 degrees
For a
in the
lot-
house is normal?
Absolutely not.
Honestly,
My house is
I
at 70.
I disagree also, but a
70,
lot of
okay.
people do that, bro.
78?
My uncle in Miami keeps it at 80 year round.
Okay, now that's
In the
OD.
summer, it's actually cooler outside. That's how
Yeah,
bad.
that's OD.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
No.
I
But
think
anyway.
I think it should be 75 and down. But yeah, so I was gonna ask you. So how do you combat a fire like that? Like, is there like a certain technique to do that? Like, or let's say like a burning car.
What do you mean? So you
Like,
mean as
one at
far
a time.
as getting
Yeah.
rid of?
One at a time.
You
Yeah.
mean as far as getting rid of like the smoke, or like just fighting fire in general?
Yeah. So like, let's say if there was a house, a 2-story house burning.
Mm-hmm.
How would you come? Like, is there a specific tactic or step that you
Hold
go
on,
to?
hold on. Let me help out here.
Go
Let me
ahead,
help
go ahead.
out. Because that seems way more complex. Let me start with a one single room building,
Okay.
right? If one room is on fire in a building, and
Nah,
that's
let's
the
go
only room.
5-bedroom, five stories.
Five stories, 6 baths. No, if there's let's say this one square room is on fire and you're
Uh-huh.
coming in from the outside, are there any specific tactics, or do you just go in there blast in that water?
No,
blast stories.
absolutely. Like I was gonna chop your question down already, because I was like, if it was just a room and contents, we're gonna fight the fire in that room and contents. We're gonna try and keep it in that room, and then we're just gonna fight it there. So
That's lingo, room and contents.
Yeah. So for example, the fire had it was just 2 days ago, because I worked on Friday, so I've been off these past 2 days, and I go back to work tomorrow. We had 1 bedroom. It was in a small, like, kind of mobile home. So it was 1 bedroom, and we fought the fire there. So we pulled up on scene. You pull the line from the truck, and you get water on the fire. I mean, it's a lot. We like to make things technical and do all this, technicalities, but it's simple, man. You get water on the fire.
You just spray water.
You get
on it.
water on the fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are situations that you'll run into where you want to maybe take a step back and be like, hold up. Let me take a second to figure out what we got here. We take classes on learning how to read smoke. That's a class I've taken in because you don't want to walk into some type of backdraft or flash over and stuff
What's
like
that?
You just flash over is when
I'm just like right.
yeah. So the
Right.
temperature inside the structure will get really, really high, and it'll get to a level where it's basically going to cause an explosion, because there's so much like toxic gas and stuff in the air.
Yeah.
It's going to get to a temperature where all that stuff is going to explode. So if you introduce oxygen to it, it's just going to ignite. You introduce oxygen, and which that's part of the fire triangle, we call it, and you're feeding that environment, and it just causes a reaction, which is going to be an explosion. Yeah, and it's going to be just bad.
I have a follow-up question, but first,
What's up?
I do actually hear that fan. You think we should turn it off? Or what do you think? Or do you want to? Because
I mean-
it's up to you. I just wanted to say I can.
I mean,
hear
if this is gonna be the hottest episode ever, I guess we could turn it off.
it. Yeah, could you hit that, Andy, please? Could you hit that?
Can you
fan?
unplug that?
There's a button on the back, or unplug it. Thank you, bro. Sorry, man. I had
No.
to catch it.
You're all good.
We'll
You're all
we'll
good.
see if we turn it back on. But
Yeah. Let's wait it out. Let's see who starts sweating first.
We have to get waves.
By the end of the podcast, we're gonna just be in our drawers.
Yeah,
Don't
I would imagine.
I was waiting for you to say something. That was alley-oop.
I know so many people watching right now. They're gonna be like, "Oh, there it goes." First comment.
Little by little, just taking off articles of clothing.
But no. To that note, I wanted to say, 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
We're just gonna be barraging you with the questions that we have on fires right now.
Go for it, man.
3 years now in. How confident do you feel? How nervous do you get? How panicked do you get? Because obviously you're not supposed to be panicked, but we are all human. We still get the physiological responses. So, like, how do you feel you are now with that?
I feel like 3 years in now, I'm starting to get a lot more comfortable and confident in my abilities and tactics and making decisions. I don't imagine that you ever get rid of that adrenaline rush when you hear an actual structure fire come over. Mm-hmm. You know, the tones come over and you got structure fire. I haven't had a structure fire yet where someone's trapped inside, and I would imagine that would heighten things. So I think little by little, I mean, like I said, I've only been in this for 3 years, so I haven't seen everything yet. And I mean, you could do this for 25, 30 years, and I don't think you'll ever see everything. Mm-hmm. You know, there's always going to be something new.
Well, hopefully
So then what's the first thing that you encountered when you were working as a firefighter, like, that made you, like, kind of nervous, or, like, was there something that triggered you to kind of be, like, a little scared or anything like that, like your first time?
I gotta say, man, I haven't had anything yet where I'm scared. You know, like, I'm just, like, straight up scared of anything.
But just like, oh shit, I don't want to mess this up.
But yeah, you do definitely have those moments where your adrenaline's flowing and you got so many things on your mind. Like, even driving to the call, you know what I'm saying? You hear dispatch over the radio tell you, you know, you got an actual fire, you know.
Y'all got some rock jamming, like, getting hype. You're like, let's do this.
Nah,
baby.
we actually don't. I know some guys do. Sure. Some guys do. Some guys will be they'll have, you know, music playing and blasting, getting their mind right, getting
saving lives, baby. Let's go.
Hell yeah, get in the zone on the way to a call. I mean, we don't at my department. We haven't, or any of the guys that I've worked with, we don't play any music on the way there. We're always talking about tactics and what we're gonna do once we get there.
That makes more sense. I like
so. This guy's like, everyone's just blasting music, no tactics at all. We're just going in there and just doing whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you get some guys like that, man, that they love that adrenaline rush, man, and they're gonna be, you know, headbanging on the way there, like, hell yeah, let's go get it. But
I know those guys.
I haven't worked with any guys like that yet. So a lot of guys I work with have been real professional and have been teaching me the ways. And on the way to fires, we're talking about, hey, I need you to do this once we pull up, and I need you to do this once, you know, that's done, and da-da-da. So just tactics, man. I mean, I haven't had a call yet. Like I said, I haven't had a call yet where I'm scared. Definitely, you know, nerves, definitely adrenaline flowing. I gotta say, even just during EMT, one of my first calls I had was a head-on collision. Which I gotta say, man, car accidents are some of the worst things we run.
I know, bro.
They're some of the worst things we run.
And even just the thought of them drive me nuts. You know what I mean? And we all have to drive everywhere all the time. It's
everywhere.
Tell me about it,
dude.
Bro, my mom was recently in a bad car. I know knock on wood. I know so many people who have recently been in bad car accidents. Yeah. Thankfully, they're all still here. But my mom recently was driving down the street by the loop, and a car just ran a stop sign at the intersection, T-boned her. She was in a Hyundai Tucson, or you know, I think that's what it's called. But she got T-boned, and her car flipped 3 times.
Oh damn!
So it landed upside down. And yeah, bro. And luckily nothing happened. Like, well, she has like probably like, you know, herniated discs and like stuff, it kind of soreness, but she's all right. You know, she didn't like break nothing, which is crazy to think about, that you get slammed into on her side. It hit driver's side. So she said she remembers just feeling it hit. And then she just remembers feeling like she was just flying out of control, thinking she was about to die.
No, absolutely.
I used to think that you were in control. Like, I was thinking like, oh, I'll jump out of the car or something. Like, when something happens, you are not able to do that. Yeah. Like, at all.
Absolutely not, man. Things happen so fast and at speeds you can't even comprehend.
Exactly. So. You're going like 50, 60, and if you're spinning or getting hit, you're not even able to move your body at all.
Your brain doesn't even process the situation properly. I remember once I was driving down. Did I tell you the story about 95? Like crossing 4 or 5 lanes? I don't know if I told that already on the show, but
I don't know.
I was driving down 95 at like 11 p.m. This is when I was living in Fort Lauderdale. And driving down to like the border of Miami. And it had rained earlier in the day. Like I said, 11 p.m., almost midnight. You know how when you're on the interstate, there's like a section of cars in front of you and a section behind? Well, I was right in the middle. So luckily there was like a big gap. I had like a cushion of space. randomly, I was just driving straight, not even speeding, nothing. All of a sudden, I just feel my car lose traction. Boom. Next thing I know, which I've never hydroplaned before, and I just lose it. Is the black Honda Civic I sold you. I lose it, and then all of a sudden, I'm spun around, and it feels like you're floating. It doesn't even feel real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like perfect glide, and I see headlights, taillights, and I'm going like circles over 4 lanes. I'm in the left lane. And I go, you know where you get off they get off the exit, and there's kind of like a big ditch, like a drop off of grass.
Yeah, the shoulder.
The car, luckily it was lowered because it was so low that as soon as it hit the grass, it started piling up dirt on the side skirts. And I feel like when I was on the edge of the thing, I was tilted like this. Like in my head, I was just, for one, I thought I was dead. I thought for sure that the car was gonna fly off that cliff, and
Absolutely.
I was like, yo, shit, this is it. And then when it was done, I was like shaking. I was like, holy shit. Thankfully, there was no car around me to hit me, and then when I stopped, I didn't want to move because I didn't know how like dramatic the tilt was. It felt like I was on a cliff for real.
Yeah.
And then I got out the car finally, and I started moving. I was like, yo, I don't want to like fall now. And then it wasn't even hanging that crazy, but it was hanging a little bit. Anyway,
Yeah.
So the point of that story was while that thing is spinning, and when that moment is happening, you're just kind of in awe. Like you're like, wait, is this for real right
Yeah.
now? This is crazy. It goes slow-mo. And then you just think about your life and shit. So
Do you see a lot of car accidents on a regular? Like, is that like most of your calls?
No, not most of our calls. Most of our calls, man, are I would say like chest pain or trouble breathing. We get tons
oh
of that.
my, because yeah, especially here, yeah.
Yeah, chest pain, especially these past couple of years, man, with COVID, everything was trouble
What's
breathing,
that?
trouble breathing.
Moving on.
Yeah.
No, but
With
my
the,
bad. I wanted to ask about, because you didn't finish the head-on collision. You said you were reported to your first head-on
Oh,
collision.
that's right.
How bad
That's
was
right.
that?
So I was actually in EMT school. I wasn't even working yet, man. I was just like so when you're in EMT school, you got to get a certain amount of patient contacts before, you can move on further on into your training. And I was on a rescue, which is an ambulance training for the day. And we got a call early in the morning. And I remember we were actually going to another call, but that call came through and my paramedic was like, oh no, we're going to be closer. So we jumped the call and we went to the head-on collision, man. And it was crazy to see, like it being in school, not yet doing the job, seeing that's got to be the worst as far as car accidents. Like you had your mom to flip and everything. But a head-on collision has to be the worst you can see.
Were there fatalities in that one?
Yeah, so the driver of one vehicle was gone on scene, and the driver of the other vehicle, she was alive, but both of her legs were broken because the dash was pinned down on her. So I got to see that too, which was pretty wild, man, because what we do is we cut the post on the cars and then we roll the dash so we can get them out. And you see her bones were breaking out, broke the skin.
And you're seeing that straight.
And I'm
right
saying
there.
that right out of school, man, which was pretty wild. But it set me up for.
Did you want to throw up?
Everything else. No, see that's one of the things, man. Like I've never been in an issue in an instance where I've been really scared or had like like my stomach can't handle it and I feel like I'm gonna faint or throw up.
You got the warrior's blood.
I've never been in a situation like that. So that's one of the things where I'm like, man, I definitely, people are like made for certain things, man. And I was like, yeah, I'm made for this. I can handle this. I can do this shit. So.
Was that lady like passed out at the time?
No.
She was like conscious and completely
conscious.
Like, was
talking,
she screaming? She wasn't. Was she
screaming.
in pain or nothing? She was just shocked.
She was in pain, and she and as we moved the vehicle, I didn't move any of the vehicle stuff because I was in school, so I wasn't in like bunker gear. That's the gear we wear. I was just standing like on the sidelines, kind of watching and helping out here and there. And I even stopped my medic, and I was like, she seems really calm for the amount of pain or the situation she's in. And he's like, yeah, this is weird. Like even him, guy who's been on the job, was like, yeah, this is weird that she's so calm.
If I see bones, bro, I'm probably passing out.
Yeah.
Not on somebody else, but like if I'm, God forbid, in an accident like that, and I see my bones popping out of my legs, I'm probably, or throwing up.
I'll just pop it back in.
Bro, that's just OD. I don't know what it is about the visual. Like I know your body, when you're in a crazy situation, usually that adrenaline kicks, you don't really feel the pain.
Yeah.
But it's the idea for me, like the thought of my bone piercing and popping out of my, like, I'm just like, ugh.
I could definitely see that, man. I had an instance one time. It was when I was younger, and I closed the car door on my finger, and like I almost like it was completely closed on my finger. And once I opened the door, bro, I just felt sick.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Yeah, because my own.
That's wild. I've had it almost, but not like where it closes.
No, it's closed. Like I had to pull the handle open to get my finger out.
Your was broken. All the way.
No, it didn't break. Like I caught like the tip of my finger, and like there's a scar across my finger. So it was like it was like just like completely open, just hanging. The tip of my finger just kind of hanging, and that made me sick, man. When I went to go like rinse it off and see what the damage really was, and it's just leaking blood. That made me sick. But running calls, man, I haven't had one where I'm just sick to my stomach or I want to faint or anything.
Well, I'm glad to hear that because. That's too much. I hear like the firefighters and first responders that I know, they always say that the DUI calls are the worst ones because, you know, the drunk person's never the one who dies. Yeah. It's always the other people.
Yeah, usually that limp body helps you through a car accident, man. Yeah. Whether you're sleeping or you're limp, I think it's just your body kind of just moves and flows with whatever's going on. Because like when you're awake, you fight. You fight everything. You want to grab onto something. You're tense. Yeah, you fight, and you tend to have worse injuries that way.
Yeah.
Do you feel like this, like going through all, I'm sure now 3 years in, you have an accumulation of experiences through car crashes or EMT calls and stuff like that. Do you feel like it's like building up on you mentally though, like stress wise, or like seeing that on a consistent basis? Like it's a lot of negative stuff every day. Do you feel like that's like affecting you at all?
It definitely has affected me a little bit. I don't think to a sense where it really affect my day-to-day kind of choices. The only thing I can say is that I think sometimes when say for example, when my wife is out and I may be home or I'm somewhere else and I'm like she's working from home now, which is nice, but before she would go out every day to work and commute.
You like to keep her locked in.
Commute. No, not not that I don't want to keep her locked down or nothing, but like even on her commute, I'm like, oh, she should have kind of been home already. And I'm thinking in my head like, damn, I don't know. So sometimes I think about that stuff. Even me driving, dude. You're on like those one lane north, one lane south, and you're driving, and I'm like, and I'm always watching the cars on the other side.
Yeah, bro.
It's
I drive way on the right. I'll drive like almost to where you hit those like warning bumps. You know what I'm saying? I'll just be chilling, just in case, so you have more time.
He changes his tires every
bro.
No,
absolutely.
For
you gotta think about that stuff.
It's just more time. You know what I mean? Like if something happens, I have more time to move now than I do if I'm right on the line. You know what I'm saying?
And to be into reality, you're probably not gonna have enough time. But
it
just
makes
to have
me feel
that,
better.
Exactly.
First of all, you don't know my reflexes. All right,
my
so
bad,
let's just stop.
Yeah, they're slower than you think.
My man's a cat.
but that's something that I think about as well. But I try not to. I also don't want to manifest it. So I think about it, but then I try to be like, just be aware. Don't dwell on it. Just be aware. Don't dwell on it.
Yeah, I know. I think about that stuff all the time too. But it's just reality, dude. I mean, I see so much on a day, like a shift to shift basis, not a day to day basis, because we only work 10 days a month. And that's part of the reason why we work so little is because the stress and the effects of the job on us mentally and physically is so we work only 10 days a week, 10 days a month. Sorry.
Actually, before I say that, I want to say. I just think as a general rule, if people would drive caring and considering people around them, that we would have way less accidents. It seems like an obvious statement, but other than like freak accidents. And I say that because so many people, they get in their car and we're all guilty of doing it. You feel like you're in your own little bubble world. And everyone around you is like NPCs. They're like non-player characters that are just moving around you. They're not real people.
Like
they're not real people that like you care about and that are having their own emotions or moments or conversations. And then for one, that applies to road rage, but also just in terms of what movement they're going to make next on the road. People aren't paying attention to the 4 cars in front of them. They're looking at only the one right in front of them. So they don't have time to react to what's happening before that car, or they're making turns in and out, not considering how quickly this guy's accelerating behind you. It's like if you just pay attention to people around you more and not just where you're going, people would be more. It would be a better flowing situation, I think.
Absolutely. I think, I mean, when I drive, I'm looking behind me. I'm looking in all my mirrors, dude. Yeah. Like, because I've been in accidents where I got rear-ended, you know what I'm saying? And even just letting off, like I had an accident one time, I remember I looked back, and we were at a red light. and I noticed the dude behind me wasn't paying attention. He's coming too fast, dude.
People don't do that.
And I let off my brake. So when and I pulled up a little bit. So when he hit me, it's like just barely hit me. But if I wasn't paying attention to him, not paying attention, I would have been the car would have been destroyed. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, that's how the way that people drive though is also kind of the way that they act in general, because most people, they're not even thinking about everyone in the room that they're in.
That's true.
So when you're driving, they're just thinking about it in front of them, and they're driving crazy. There's people, I have been in cars or seen people driving. It's like, how long have you gone without getting in an accident? Yeah. It's crazy that they've survived that long. Yeah. It's like, you've been driving like this for 15 years.
Yeah.
And you haven't gotten in an accident? That is crazy.
It is.
Yeah, it's wild, man.
And my mom, I remember we used to drive down when I was a kid before I was driving. I would notice she'd be driving on a straight road, not turning, nothing's happening, but she'll look in her rear view like every couple seconds. And I used to be like, Mom, what are you looking at? Like, nothing's happening. And now I'm like, I get it, bro. Because like you said, if you're not constantly looking, things change so quick. People are moving so fast. Like if you're not constantly scanning your surroundings, and like you're talking about, you have people who will just cut a lane or turn without blinking, without even looking in their mirror. Forget turning on your blinker. They don't even look.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. That's another thing that I've picked up through training is they always teach us to kind of look in our mirrors like every few seconds. Is to look back and see what's going on around you. Yeah, because I mean, you never know too. Just even us just driving in traffic generally, like just going back to the station or going out to get groceries or whatever the case may be. Just paying attention to the vehicles around us, paying attention to how much distance we have, just in case we get a call and we got to turn on the lights and we need an out. You know what I'm saying? Like I always constantly when I was driving, I constantly have to pay attention to everything around me.
And that 10-day schedule you're talking about, how is that actually laid out?
So most departments, because there's different scheduling, but most departments work on a 3-shift schedule. So you got 3-shift rotation, and you work every third day. For example, this past week I worked Tuesday and Friday. I'm off Saturday, Sunday. I go back Monday, and then I'll work Monday and Thursday, and then I'll go back on Saturday.
You like that schedule?
I mean on Sunday, sorry. It has its pros and cons, you know what I'm saying? Like it's nice only working 10 days a month and going to work 10 days a month. But it's tough sometimes too. You know, I just had a little one, and the wife's luckily for me, my wife works from home.
Congrats.
And thank you, brother. Thank you. Also a girl dad. I know you got two, right? You got 2 girls?
Yeah, hanging there strong, man. Let me know if you need anything, need some support. I got you.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. any tips would be well deserved. I mean, but so luckily my wife works from home, man, and but it's been challenging. It's been challenging working 24 hours and then coming back and trying to help her out with the little one, and I also just this past year I started a little business, so just get a little side hustle going. So yeah, it's been challenging, man, but we're figuring it out. We're working it out. I mean, I do like the 10 days. That's the upside. You know what I'm saying? When you're like
20 days off. Baby.
You're like, I only go to work 10 days a month. You know what I'm saying? And while I'm at work, I have everything I need. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I have a kitchen, I have a full kitchen, I have a gym, I have.
Yeah, because that 24-hour shift, you're not in the truck 24 hours hunting down fires.
No,
you guys are hanging out at the station until you get a call, or cleaning up, or making sure your equipment works.
Exactly. That's what we're doing most of the day. So like, for my chief is pretty big on this. Like, he doesn't want us just standing around and doing nothing. So, I mean, you get some departments that they're real lax and then the guys are in the recliner all day, but my chief is pretty good with having us like take care of the station. So like Monday through Friday from 8 to 5, you got daily chores that you got to take care of. So if you're not running calls, you're cleaning the bathrooms, you're wiping down stuff in the station, because it's our house, so we got to take care of it. You know what I'm saying?
Sounds terrible.
Yeah. But we got to take care of it, and you never know who's gonna stop by. We always have like people stopping by with their kids, and they want station tours, and they want to see the
you
station.
You could do that at any time.
Anytime, dude. Anytime.
Do you actually have a Dalmatian there?
We do.
Is that typical?
No, it's not.
That's legit.
I mean, back in the day, I'm sure it was when they did the horse and carriages and stuff, and the Dalmatians actually had a real purpose. I mean, our guy he's just a mascot.
Yeah,
you know.
But it's dope that you actually stuck with the tradition.
Yeah, his name's Spot. He's a Dalmatian with
very original.
Absolutely, man. we got all the cliches though over at the house, man. We got
the mustaches.
Yeah,
Classic.
Strong with the stash. Strong with
all
the
you guys
stash,
have the
dog.
mustaches?
Not all of us, but it's kind of like it's become like a tradition. It's become like the fireman's look. You know what I'm
They
saying?
should.
Yeah, you get a lot of guys who have. I mean, some guys are not able to grow a nice stash. You
I
know,
can't.
So
You're gonna disrespect me in front of me on our show.
I know Philby was talking earlier about how we can stash.
Yeah,
one, so
yeah,
I
and
was
he's gonna be like, some people can't grow one.
not pointing any fingers, but but it's kind of the look. Back in the day, the guys they had beards. You know what I'm saying? Like those guys, they used to. I've heard. I don't know if this is like a legit thing, but the guys would use their beards as almost a filter. So when they were going into a burning building, they would use the beard as a filter to try and I filter out some smoke, I guess.
But you're not allowed to have beards anymore, right?
Not anymore. Yeah, they got
For
rid
real?
of that stuff. So the reason why is
So it can catch on fire.
no, not the fire.
Oh.
It's the mask we wear. So we wear masks, and you don't want to interrupt your
Doesn't
seal.
Yeah.
Exactly. You don't want to. So the hair around your face could interrupt that seal, which will cause you to not just lose air from your tank, but also breathe in some of the toxic, air that's around you. So, they only allow mustache.
So you have to shave all of it.
Yeah.
Well, other than the
So like tonight or tomorrow morning, I'll shave this little stubble because it's got to be gone. It's kind of like military. We're paramilitary, so we follow a lot of the same military kind of deals.
What made you want to do the firefighting thing? Was it like a lifelong thing, or?
Yeah, there's not. I can't point to a specific point in time where I was like, yeah, hell yes, that's what I want to do for my life. You know, that's the career I want to go with. But when I was really young, I remember because I grew up in New York, and I remember my dad telling me, hey, NYPD is opening up. You go take the test and see if you get on with NYPD. And I was like, hell no, there's no way I'm gonna be a cop. No way, I would never be a cop. I was like, but FDNY, I was like, I could see myself doing that.
Yeah.
We moved here in 2008, so I never got the chance to do any of the FDNY stuff. But while I was here, I don't know, after working some retail and stuff, I was like, man, let me look into this again. And me and actually my brother-in-law, he was interested in doing it too, and we're like, bro, let's just do it. I'm tired of the retail shit. I can't see myself 20 years from now still doing this retail stuff. Even if I was to move up to a corporate level, I can't see myself doing this. So I need a change, and this is the change I made, man. And I'm glad I did it. I'm so happy with the way my life is going.
Which, by the way,
man.
I worked with him in retail.
Oh, Nine West.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look like a Nine West.
We
guy.
were the stock squad.
Yeah,
that's how you know Borden too. Then
that's how I know Borden.
okay,
yeah.
so that's how you. Okay, I got.
I was the leader of the stock squad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Them two of my
word. So he
I was
used to talk
second in
mad
command.
shit about you back then, bro.
That's
who you was talking about.
Oh yeah.
He was like, this fucking stock manager, man. This
Fucking
guy's
guy letting me do everything I want.
Man,
just let me do whatever I want. Yeah.
So you think you're gonna stick it through for the full 20, bro?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Damn, bro. Hey, well, on behalf of those of us who don't fight fires, I appreciate it because I do not want to do it. And we got to have people who do it, man. If we don't, our society would be in trouble for sure.
It's awesome. You'd be surprised, man. I mean, if I would say the only thing that's tough for a lot of people once you go to the fire academy, and this is what probably gets rid of a lot of people, is claustrophobia. Because while we're in there, they put us in all our gear, man. They put us blacked out, and then they'll put us in like a little small. So basically they'll build.
Oh, because you can't see. That's the crazy part.
Yeah.
Normally I feel like I'd be my bad. I realized that once you can't, I'd be like, oh, that's not bad. And you said blindfolded. I was like, shit.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Wait,
So they completely black out.
What do they do? They put you in a what?
Yeah. So basically they build a maze, and it's basically a little tunnel. You know what I'm saying?
like an air vent.
Yeah.
That you fit in.
That I actually fit in. Yeah.
Right.
And they build this thing out. And we don't really know what it is because it's inside of a trailer basically. So like during training, they'll have us outside the door to simulate us getting ready to go inside of a structure, inside of a burning building. And so we put all our stuff on, and while you're in school, you're completely blacked out. So once you get your mask on, you don't see anything. So they open the door and they're like, go ahead, and you just go into the maze, and you have to find your way out of it without being able to see. All you have is your sense of touch and what you've been trained, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people They get rid of a lot of people with that right there.
How
Because
crazy.
they'll have loud music blasting too. They'll have like rock music and shit blasting in the room.
For the headbangers.
Yeah, like our teachers will be in there just like with sledgehammers banging on shit and like all kinds of stuff just to kind of distract us.
You have any people shit their pants? Excuse me.
Like literally shit their pants?
Yeah.
No, not in my class. My class is
Mad random.
I asked that 'cause,
Like, is anyone shitting their pants? Like,
no, that's not random. I'm asking because I in basic training had
You
somebody
shit in your pants.
No, I knew the guy in my upper bunk shat his pants. Luckily, not
real?
while I was in the bunk, but he shat his pants, and
he was in
ended
your
up leaving.
upper bunk,
Yeah, he was on. He didn't shit in the bed. He shat in his
and it was
pants.
dripping down.
like during training, he shit his pants?
Yeah.
What were you guys doing?
Sleeping, or no, like about to sleep, like about to getting ready to go sleep. Like I don't know what his problem. He just freaked out. He didn't make it. He got kicked out.
Oh shit.
Like he lasted like a week or two. He was like freaking out. He was just shitting everywhere.
Damn, that's wild. Yeah. So if you're okay with blood and you're okay with if you're not a claustrophobic, then you'll be all right, man. Everything else you learn and you get used to.
I had a dude the other day at the barber shop. I put a. You seen that? Have you ever had a hot towel service before?
Yeah.
Have you had one?
Nope.
I gotta hook you up.
Free?
Nah, $40.
Nah.
Come on, man. He's a businessman.
I'm just playing. But the hot towel, I was doing a hot towel on somebody, and I turned around to do something real quick, and then he was just like, and like took the hot towel off because he was claustrophobic. And I'm like, what the hell? Like I never would have thought that a hot towel would make you claustrophobic. And then so check this out. This is the real kicker. Like two months later, he comes back to me. And I go to do the hot towel again. I totally forgot that it was him. I knew that it happened. I just forgot it was him. So I go to do the hot towel, and I'm like, you know what's funny? Like I was just thinking about how I had this guy in here who I did the hot towel on, and he got all claustrophobic.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
I did, bro. I was like, yeah, I did this hot towel on this guy, and he got all claustrophobic, and I was like, damn, I never experienced that before. It just seemed kind of crazy, like it's just a hot towel. And that was it. And but he didn't say anything. And then when he left, I was like, I think it was him who I did the hot towel on. It was him because this is how I found out. Because I said that and I put the hot towel on. And like 10 seconds later, he was like, hey man, how much longer do you think it's gonna be? Like he was trying to like get me to get it off, and that's what triggered it. And I was like, "Oh shit, it was him."
Hey, you were helping. You helped, man. I mean, because this time he didn't freak out when he asked you about the time.
You see, that's really what my intention.
You're helping him overcome his fear.
Exactly, and that's what I do. I tell all my clients, for those of y'all out there, when you come in, I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to challenge you in every way for your personal growth, and then you're going to leave fresh and confident, and you're going to meet your wife.
That's what it's all about. Confidence.
Thank you, bro.
Confidence.
Thank you, bro. So pay your barber more is what I hear.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So you have a new child. She's 1, right?
She is. Yeah.
What
Name?
Stella.
Stella. That's a nice name.
Stella. Thank you.
Nice,
Thank you.
You gotta have another one. Name her Artois.
Now my wife is like, she's stuck on this initials thing, so she wants them all to match. So we've always talked about 3 kids. I don't know if we'll have 3 kids. I mean, that's the goal. That's always been the goal, but we'll see. I mean, it's her decision at the end of the day.
It is.
But she wants to, if we do have more, she wants to have the initials match. So
my mom did that with us. Me and my dad and my brother. RPS.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I didn't even notice till now.
So I'm like, damn, now I gotta think of other names that are gonna match shit, bro.
So now that you're a father, do you feel like, is there a certain way that you feel like you're wanting to raise her because of all the way that things are going on right now?
Great question. Let's get in this, baby.
With like the education, the brainwashing, the type of curriculums that are going on, like
I think
the exposure and even technology too. Like,
yeah. I mean, she's only 1.
Yeah.
So I don't know what things are going to be like in the next 4 years.
But I mean, a year, but probably 2 years.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Those things are already going, I'm already brainstorming. Those things are going on in my head. And the main thing I want to teach her is to question things.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing for me, is I want her to be confident and to be able to question things. Like, I don't care who it is. If you have a question, ask it. If something it doesn't seem right to you, and you have a question, ask it. Just question shit. You know what I'm saying? Question authority, question your teachers. You know what I'm saying? Like, just question it. You know, that's the main thing I feel like I want her to to have the ability to do. I feel like as a kid growing up, sometimes I might have had questions and didn't have the confidence to ask them, or just kind of went with the flow. And I want her to,
Yeah.
If you have a question, you ask it.
That's a good thing, bro.
Yeah.
Because
Go ahead.
Because that's how my parents raised me.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm slightly annoying also, but I don't care.
I agree.
I don't care because it gains me so much, and it has gained me so much. And if closed mouths don't get fed. You know what I'm saying? I learned that real early, and that doesn't mean that I haven't been in situations where you get a little nervous or feel like maybe I shouldn't. But at the end of the day, it's better for me to have tried and not succeeded than just been quiet and not knowing what could have happened.
Absolutely.
And that would drive me nuts.
What do you mean by they raised you to always ask? What they actually told you that?
Yeah. Like, well, they, I guess it wasn't like a quote, but it was just more of a practical implication.
Like they encouraged you.
Yeah. Like I was, just like my daughter now. My daughter just turned 4, my oldest one, and my youngest one's about to be 2. Damn. So being able, I know, crazy. Which I told you, I was like, let's do it, because I have conversations I want to have about.
That's awesome, man.
So, so now my oldest one is starting to ask a lot of questions. Why everything? Why? Why is this? Why is that? And I answer every question like it's a brand new question, and she hasn't asked me a million that day. Yeah, you know what I mean? Because she's just curious. It's a whole new world. She has no idea. She doesn't even know that you can get tired of asking people, or people can get tired of you asking them questions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And for me, it's interesting because you start to really understand and see like, wow, I'm so used to all of these things that this human being is looking at like with complete wonder and amazement. Mm-hmm. And you just have to know, like, your job is now to explain that as best you can to them. And that's one of my, I feel like, I don't want to call it like a downfall necessarily, but a challenge for me. Yeah. I over-explain things, and it comes from when I was younger. I felt like even though I asked a lot of questions, the answers that I got a lot of times I felt like weren't like enough
information.
It wasn't what you needed.
Yeah, and it wasn't enough. You know, I got
like surface level knowledge of the subject.
Yeah, because I'd ask a question and you get that surface level answer, and it was enough to be like, oh, okay. But then you learn more about it later. And I would think back, there's so many times that I thought back to, why didn't they tell me this? So now when somebody asks me something, I feel like I got to give it all to you. You know what I mean?
I would definitely say that that's good that you always answer her questions rather than being a parent that's like, oh, stop asking me all these questions.
Yeah, that happens all the time.
You're encouraging questioning things.
That's what I mean.
And the good thing is with my dad, I used to ask questions all the time. And my dad read books, and he would also know things. He always would be able to respond to something even if he didn't know it.
Yeah.
He would still be able to say something about it. And I think that's what encouraged me also to question a lot of stuff. Because driving in the car, I'll just be like, what's that? What's this? What about this? Yeah. But how's this work? And like he would be able to answer. And a lot of people don't have that support to be able to answer any questions.
I think that's important, man. I think it's a big thing. And I think this past couple of years, I really opened my eyes up to things. I remember, working with you back in the day, you and Lewis, and you guys were onto some shit, bro. And I was like, man, get out of here. You guys are crazy. Don't be coming over here with the Alex Jones shit. Let me come in. My man just sound like he's doing a promo for WWF or something. I can't.
I would definitely agree that he does when you first see him and you don't know what he's doing, but he's obviously doing that because he has to make money. He has to, or he won't be on air.
And I get that. I get that. He's getting the clicks and stuff.
I see that happen so often though. And I'm gonna ask you a question in a minute about that, because I noticed you said that was crazy to you, or it seeseemed wild to you, but there's so many people who weren't encouraged for those questions that I encounter every day. And as a barber, conversation is like what I do. You know what I mean? So if somebody wants to, obviously, consensual conversation, mutual conversation.
You're not pushing conversations on people?
I'm not. Yeah, I won't force my conversation sometimes. But anyway, so what happens is you run into people who don't really know how to converse well. They don't know how to communicate or express their thoughts. They don't know how to communicate a question or even form a question, because they've been suppressed for so long that it's basically at a certain age, you get those parents or people who are just don't want to answer questions, or they're annoyed or so tired of the job that they hate that they don't want to come home and answer your questions with enthusiasm. And those people end up getting so suppressed with questions that they forget that questions even exist. And you're just like, whatever you tell me, that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna focus on this, and I don't want to bother anybody because my whole life people have told me that I bothered them. So let me just not say anything at all. And I feel so bad for them because it's like there's a piece of like life missing. You know what I mean?
And then 30 years of their life goes by.
Yeah, if not 80.
It's true, man.
Yeah.
It's true. A lot of people are not taught to question things or to question authority, man. And I mean, that's one thing with my daughters or even my future kids is I want them to be able to have that confidence to be able to question things and not just just believe something because it's an adult telling you or it's your your teacher, your principal telling you, or even your aunt, uncle, whatever it is. Question if it doesn't feel right to you, question it. You know what I'm saying?
I want to ask you about because I know you're gonna ask about conspiracies, right?
No.
Or like what switched his mind.
You don't know me.
Are you gonna?
Go.
But Linda, I'm asking though. Are you gonna ask?
No,
him
it's about technology. Okay, I'm just asking. So
go ahead.
So pretty much, I was gonna ask, like, how do you feel about technology and introducing it to your children? Like, how would you do that?
Okay, good
and
question.
Do you feel like there's a certain age that you're gonna do it? Because obviously now it's on a whole nother level than it was when we were. Like when we were growing up, it was kind of the beginning stages of technology being an everyday household thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't thought too much into technology. I definitely don't want her to be consumed with being on the phone or the iPad or tablet. One of my big things growing up is my dad had me in sports. You know what I'm saying? So I would love to be able to bond with my children over that. So my daughter right now, I mean, I don't know what she's gonna be like in the next couple of years.
It's gonna be a beautiful thing.
If she's gonna want to play any sports, but I would. I pray that she does, so that way we can definitely bond over that. I think sports are big time for kids growing up. I think being able to just socially interact with other kids and learning to teamwork and all that stuff, and just the physical aspect of being able to get out the house and do something physical and burn off some energy, socialize. Like there's so much you can learn from playing a team sport.
I almost feel like now sports is almost the only thing that can get them away from the technology now.
Well, it's because of the parents, though.
Because there's so much, like the phone, video games, everything. Not that I'm necessarily against it,
right? Because we played them all.
Because we played them too. I mean, I would run home trying to play video games, and then play games, and I'm like, damn, I gotta go to sleep. Then wake up, run home again, and play video games.
Skip school for San Andreas.
Yeah, that was one thing. Luckily for
it was San Andreas.
That was one thing, I guess. Luckily for my parents and even my wife now that I'm not big on video games. Like, we don't even have game consoles in the house. So
for real?
No, I don't have anything. I grew up with systems every few years. My parents would buy it for Christmas or some shit, but even when I had them, I didn't really play them.
You're ungrateful, bro.
Nah, just playing. No, I would much rather be outside.
It's so important to do that though, and it's so lacking now. And kids instantly, it's the parents' fault. Hold on, I'm trying to collect my thought because it's the parents' fault that their default is always to distract them with a tablet or distract them with the phone. Because before, when you wanted your kid to behave or be quiet, you had to get them to behave and be quiet. But now you just need to distract them with the phone. And just and now you have quietness, or now you have, you know what I mean? And it's heartbreaking. And I'm not saying that my daughter never touches an iPad. Like we give her a 10-minute, let her watch a little clip, a show or whatever, but she doesn't, I don't judge people, but I think that it's so important that they don't, because if you interact with a 4-year-old child who is on that stuff all the time or is not, you can actually tell the difference in the way they interact. I don't know any other kids like on the level that I know my daughter, but I do know that the way that she interacts with people and how developed that is versus kids who aren't as much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
and
also,
I know there's a personality thing. There's a parent
let
thing.
me add in as well. Your daughter grew up on only fruits for like 2 years.
Yeah. That's a big
really
gave the
nothing but fruit.
Yeah, for like the first 2.5 years.
We fruits out here.
Yeah. Hey,
See?
we got.
No, I know. Like, I get it. I get it.
Baby.
I get the fruit thing. I know
Would you like some cantaloupe, some watermelon?
No, I'm good right
For-
now.
for
I
the
started
show?
learning about the
I'm good
fruit
right
thing at 9 West, actually.
Andy,
Really?
Like, that's when I started.
Because I remember, there was a little time Chris used to train me back in the day. It's when I first got into my fitness journey. And, I've slacked, though.
Now-
The past couple of years, I've been slacking between, freaking.
Yeah, you was doing CrossFit. And yeah, man, you was getting in shape.
Yeah, I was about 190. Your boy was solid, man. You know, but not anymore. About 230. Like not so solid.
No, I feel you. I've been running lately because I went like 6 months with no drinking or vaping or anything like that last year. And then I came off of it and I just wanted to drink beer. So I went ham on beer for a couple months and I was drinking a ton of it and I gained 40 pounds in like 2.5 months, bro.
Damn.
40, 45
Those adrenal
pounds.
glands are shot.
Yeah.
That's one thing I stay away from. I
So
stay
I
away
dropped
from the beer.
I had to drop it. So I dropped it now. I'm feeling good. I've been running every morning, but now I got to start lifting weights because now I'm feeling like I need to put
You
some.
stay away from the beer now, but not back in the beer pong days.
Oh,
When we used to do beer pong tournaments, he used to come. He's nice.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Better than me?
I mean, I was nice. I was.
Better than, he's trash.
Yeah,
Sorry.
the jersey's up in the rafters. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. I mean, we didn't drink that much though because we were winning. So you know how it is.
He does not know how it is at all.
He's like, he better than me.
So let me ask you. So what would be a good age that you would introduce technology to your child?
I mean, we've already introduced it to her. I
Oh,
mean,
you
she
already seen
knows.
it,
I mean, she sees us, even us. We're on our phones or we're watching YouTube on the TV or something like that. I mean, so she already knows about it. It's not.
It's inevitable. And that's
Yeah.
the thing. The hard part is that you have to also understand that you can't keep them off of it because it's a part of the world around
society,
us.
yeah.
And that's going to progress. This is another thing too that another angle of it, right? Because you got to play both sides. I know kids that I've grown up with that were kept away from computers and games and all those things that in a lot of ways missed out on a lot of things. And I don't just mean recreationally, I mean developmentally.
Yeah.
And
a lot of games I've actually learned a lot of things from video games.
And just technology. So it's something that you want to monitor it and try to
balance it out.
Try to balance it. And you're not going to do it perfect. Like we're learning as we go. And I think that, and I'm just talking to you, like I'm not preaching, I'm not giving advice. I'm just telling you my experience because I was there like 3 years ago and I never had someone that interacted like this with me, but it's a crazy thing that you're obviously never going to do it right. You know what I'm saying? And you want to do the best for your kid. You're thinking a lot about, or at least from what I'm hearing, you're thinking a lot about like what you want her to, how you want her mindset to be growing up, which is obviously fantastic. The thing that I didn't expect to think about so much now at 4 is I didn't put as much thought into her actually having to go into, let's say, pre-K or elementary school, like looking at actually at what the school districts are doing, how they run things. You know, your local this is the kind of stuff that when you're single and don't have kids, you don't think about because you don't really understand how your local governments or how local policies are actually going to affect your kid when you're not around. Because up until 4, you're with them all day, every day. They don't have to go nowhere. But once they hit like 4 or 5 and they start, whether it's homeschooling or regular school or boarding school or whatever, you're not going to be around and they're going to be with the people of your local community and society. So at a certain point, you need to really depend and involve yourself with it, because if you're not involved with it, they're going to find people who are, and they may not be the people you want your kid to be with. You know what I'm saying?
Because he's mad that they stopped the trans education because he wants his kids to learn
Stop
about
it. Don't even put that out in that way, bro. I don't even want to talk about that shit. That shit is ridiculous, bro. But for real, man, like mine's about to start pre-K this year. So, and you know, that's just stuff I didn't think about.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, when you send them out in the world, like you said, I mean, once they get into school, most of their day they're gonna be with someone else. Someone else is gonna be in their ear and in their head. So that's why I feel like that's the best thing I can do for her is to build her confidence, to get just tell her to question things. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you're going to have another adult there telling your kid something and you're not going to be there to be like, hey, babe, this is not okay. You know what I'm saying? Or
that's part of the development as well. Being able to discern that.
No, yeah, absolutely.
And then
So
as a girl, go. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying that's why I want to, be able to build her confidence, especially like as a woman, growing up.
Yep.
I don't.
As a woman, yeah, you're right. As a woman.
No, but I mean, being a man,
Absolutely.
Especially as a woman.
Absolutely.
being a man, like raising, eventually they're going to be women and they're going to be out there on their own. You want them to be confident. You want them to be able to ask questions and to walk into any room and be able to be like,
I'll give you one better, bro.
I'm here. You know what I'm saying?
They're gonna be out there way before that. 15, 14, 16, how many times were you out hanging out with your friends and their girls and there was no parents around?
Yeah.
13, 14, 15, 16.
Yeah.
That's when you got to be ready to make those decisions. And I'm saying that obviously as a boy you don't care as much, but with girls it's like you don't want to instill fear in them, but you want to make sure they're aware.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been finding for me in my current part of my journey as a dad is now she's starting to be able to put more complex thoughts and question things and strangers. And I want her to be aware, but I do not want her to be afraid.
Yeah.
Because there's a big difference and that changes everything. My mom was a very independent woman. Like she was out on her own from she was like 16. I had a very unique experience with a mom because of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved it. But I also have to keep expectations down because most women don't live like my mom lived.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's a certain amount of dependence that you like, again, comes back to the community that you have to put in the community of not only peers of her friends, but the community because your sons are going to be around my daughter. You know what I mean?
I think also the main thing though is it being an example though.
Oh, for sure.
Because even though they're exposed to all these other type of personalities and all these people, when they come home, they're seeing how you act and the parents act
all the time.
And then that's where they're like, oh, then they'll go off of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. And me and my wife, we have those conversations all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we talk about the way we act around her. I was like, babe, we gotta be an example. You know what I'm saying? Like, and she does the same thing to me. She'll check me on something and be like, hey, you know, we gotta be an example. So, yeah, we definitely are conscious of that. We definitely think about that on a day-to-day basis. But I mean, I feel like just like anything in life, everything is balanced. You know what I'm saying? Like back to the technology stuff. Even in school now, from very early, they're using tablets and laptops and computers and all these. Yeah. So she has, in order to further her journey in education or even work. I mean, how many jobs nowadays are revolved around computers? You know what I'm saying? So you never know what she's gonna want to do when she grows up. So I'm not gonna just keep stuff away from her. You know, I definitely want to just. Like you said, monitor it and kind of guide her on her way. But I feel like the main thing I could do is make sure she's a confident woman and she questions things. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the best thing I could do.
So I kind of want to go back to what you said earlier about how you were saying that when you heard me and Borden talking about like conspiracies and stuff and how you thought about us then versus now.
Yeah.
What was it that triggered you into kind of going into that realm? And being curious and going out there and like researching stuff.
I think that over the past few years, man, this pandemic, I feel like
you think that was the main thing that triggered it?
Oh, absolutely.
The pandemic.
So something good came out of it.
Absolutely. For me, it was things.
I think a lot of people woke up.
Things were so obvious. Yeah. It was way too obvious.
Yeah.
I was like, that shit don't make no sense.
Yeah.
Like, why are we doing this and that? It doesn't make any sense. Like I'm like, why are we doing this, and that? You know what I'm saying? It makes zero sense to me. Like I'm just working the numbers. I went to math class just like you did. You know what I'm saying? Like I know how to figure out percentages and shit. And
yeah, you just had to repeat the same grade for 20
The thing
years.
is,
you know what I'm saying? Hey, but I figured it out.
No, it's better late than never, bro. It's better late than never. We all learn at a different time, man.
Yeah.
And some people never do because this ain't their life for that. You know
so was it like? So you say it was the pandemic, which I'm not gonna say pandemic. Pandemic.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I believe
that did it. But like, what specifically would you say kind of triggered you into kind of researching? Was it like, I know you listen to a lot of Joe Rogan. Like, what was it specifically?
Shout out Joe. I'll call you later, bro.
yeah, yo, send me the link. I mean, that's my guy right there, man. I listen to a lot of podcasts, but yeah, it was definitely the pandemic. I think
the word already.
I think the biggest thing for me was man, just the news and how obvious there was with the agenda. You know what I'm saying? Like they obviously had an agenda and they didn't care how obvious it was.
Yeah.
They just were sticking to their script and they were putting this information out there and they were just like, people are just dumb. They're gonna go with it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like the ticker on TV killed me. Like I was like, why the hell are we putting up? How many
like
cases?
Bodies and cases?
Yeah, case. Like even if you want to put the death count, I know it was like a fear tactic, but the ticker on cases, like, why do we care how many people got it? Are they alive or not? That's what I want to know about. Are you alive or not? Did you get over it? You know what I'm saying? And then for me, I was just doing the math, and I was like, okay, so you mean 99.9% people are getting over this shit? So why are we locking down? You know what I'm saying? Why are we? Yeah, so
exactly.
I think that was the biggest thing for me, and then that led me into other things where I was
So what are those
asking
other
questions?
Things? That's
you know
what
I
want to know. Where'd you go from there?
I gotta say I'm still very new to the conspiracy stuff. I haven't ventured real deep into other conspiracies. I've been
Well, I'll tell you
finding
now,
other news sources though. My biggest thing is from the pandemic is finding independent news sources that I feel like are reliable and are trustworthy, because I can't watch any of the major.
The thing
news
is though,
you know what I'm saying?
I would never say that anything is 100% reliable. I would use I would listen to different people for different types of information.
Absolutely.
So like Alex Jones, for instance, I don't listen to him for religion stuff. I'm not religious at all. I literally tune out all the stuff he talks about. Not tune it out, but like
mostly.
I would like be like, I don't care about that. I don't care about that. I don't care about that. Whatever. Boom. Okay, now we're talking about something that I'm trying to listen to.
Yeah.
And that's what I would how I would listen to. But other people won't be able to do that. And I watch, let's say, someone who comes on Joe Rogan's show or somebody else, and I'm specifically watching it for stuff, but I'm not watching it as like, oh, this guy is reliable.
For everything he says.
For everything he says. Even someone like Jordan Peterson, because he talks about eating all meat.
It
and I'm not
matter,
against that either.
No,
I'm not for that either.
No, absolutely.
So,
and I did that during these past few years. I did a whole lot of listening to podcasts and then like reading different news sources. So, and I would do that. I would go left, right, middle, and I try to gather information that everyone was saying maybe. And I was like, okay, this links up, this links up, this links up, or everybody's saying the same thing. So that's more than likely the truth. I did a whole lot of that, man. And I would have conversations with people where I'm like, they would, they're people that I respect and I love, and they would tell me something and they'd say it with so much confidence. I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's got to be true. But then I go and I check and I'm like, they have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. You know what I'm saying?
No
idea.
Bro, that's so prevalent in every aspect of our lives and the people around us. The pandemic situation, and just for the sake of conversation, I don't even because I don't even want to refer to that situation anymore. I want to like move past that because now we're getting more conceptual. But so many people just don't know how to look at information, think for themselves, and actually look at a person and say, hey, maybe you really know about this one subject because you've done that your whole life and you're very focused and you put a lot of energy into it. But then all the other things you think you know about is mostly bullshit. That's okay. That doesn't mean you're stupid. That doesn't mean you're dumb. That means you have a specialty, just like most of us, all of us, right? I'm a barber. I know a lot more about cutting hair and hair than I do about fighting fires, right? Yeah. But that doesn't mean I'm any less valuable than you. That doesn't mean I'm not a trustworthy person. I also have information on other things that you may have to be more worried about. People don't have a good filter, right? Yeah. They don't know how to take in information from this person and see, okay, let me see how much, like you said, you go back and research, right? You took information in, go back and research, and now you have a better idea of how credible this person may be, and then go into it a little further. But they just say, oh, okay, no, they don't know about this one subject, like you said. So they're a lunatic or they don't know what they're talking about. People are not, it's such a gray area. There's no black or white. And that's the problem with the media. That's the problem with the government. That's the problem with so many things in our society, is that nothing is black and white. Like, we're people, we're all different, there's a spectrum of everything. Yeah. And you have to be able to filter through that. Otherwise, you're just going to be lost. You're going to be cutting circles all day.
And it goes back to actually questioning everything.
Yeah,
exactly.
Every single thing that comes out of your mouth, I'm questioning it. Is it something that actually makes sense? If it doesn't make sense, I'm throwing it out.
No, and that's exactly what
But it doesn't mean I'm throwing you out as a person and the things that you can actually add value to.
Exactly.
I'm not throwing you out.
And that's exactly where I got to the thing with my daughter. Is like, I want her to be able to question things, man. Because like I said, I would have conversations with people, and I respect this person. So what's coming out of their mouth, I'm like, I'm taking it as that's what it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But then I'd have conversations. I'd be like, how'd you come to this? Like just understanding of the conclusion of the information when I'm putting in hours trying to find the right. Yeah. I want to find the right answer. I don't want to just take the first thing or read the first headline and be like, that's it. I'm taking so much time, and that's why even now, like I've stepped back a little bit from things that are going on with politics and the world and stuff, just because it takes too much time. Mm-hmm. Yep. I don't have the time, dude.
You have to balance it. Yeah, that's the thing. You have to know how far you want to go with it.
We'll let Alex Jones do all that,
and that's kind of where I am, because I like to be aware. I like to get new information. I like to get correct information, but I also have other things to do.
Yeah,
and you have to know how to compartmentalize that, because I lost my train of thought real quick, but you were talking about family.
Yeah.
That's the problem that people have in this kind of arena of information is their family, because you love your family so much and all of them are full of shit. And that's I mean that in a loving way. I love my family. I love his family. I love people, bro, right?
Yeah,
but that doesn't mean that everything you say is correct. And I don't care if everything you say is correct. Not everything I say is correct. I just care about how good of a person you are, how much you care about me, I care about you and other people, and we have a good time with good vibes. But I also like correct, true information. And if you say something that's not, I'm going to say it. And if your family says something that's not, you shouldn't be afraid that they're going to hate you and they're going to not talk to you because you're crazy and now you're a conspiracy theorist, all this stuff. They might do that. But if they really love you, they won't do that.
Yeah.
Because my parents think I'm crazy for a lot of stuff. But we love each other. We spend time together. We have a great time. They think I'm a lunatic for what I think about fruits every time they say that they have a problem. But that doesn't matter. And I have friends I don't agree with on so many things. And if people could just understand that we can be different and have a great time with each other and love each other, then we're straight, bro. And that's what we need to show our kids by what we do.
Absolutely.
Yes. But there's a certain point on that once it crosses over to where now you're trying to implement a type of lifestyle and trying to restrict my freedom because of what the bullshit things that you believe in. Now that's where it becomes okay. Now that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Where like what he was talking about. Okay, yeah. Until you start trying to control my life and restrict my freedom. Right. Now we have an actual problem.
Right.
Because now you're actually doing. You're messing up my lifestyle.
Let me clarify. My example was if you didn't live with these people, right? But if these people are in control of your life, then now you have a harder decision, right? Yeah. Because they pay the bills. You don't have anywhere to live.
But not only just the household. I mean, like also on a nation level, on a world level.
Oh, for sure. For rights and legality. Yeah. But before we get to like that level, I'm just talking about your household because for most people, they don't give a shit about the government. They don't interact with the government every day. They come home, they talk to their parents, their grandma, their kids, their roommates. Those are the people they're worried about ruining relationships with. So first it's the rules of the house that I'm worried about it affecting. Now once you get out of that situation, we have to deal with laws and what you're trying to restrict for like I said, I don't want to talk about that, but so many laws that are implemented on you and interfere with your freedom, like the curfews for anything, lockdown, all that kind of stuff, man.
And the foundation comes from what happens in the household.
Exactly, because if you know that freedom, then you're not going to let anyone take that from you. But if you don't know that freedom and the power you have in your house and how to stand up for anything to the end, no matter what, if it's right, then you're going to be like, oh shit, well, fuck it, that's the rule.
Yeah. I think in the past, man, I would just kind of take, the people around me would tell me something, I'm like, okay, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? I didn't question it really, and I wasn't looking into, because I didn't care either. I think now as I'm getting older, I'm starting to care a little bit more what's going on around me because I've got a child going into this world.
Yeah. And wait, she's out of you like that?
No. Maybe. You never know nowadays. I mean,
nice stash.
Just joking. Baby maker. But yeah, man, I got a little human being going out there, and she's gonna be taking part in this world, and I want to be able to, just hand it over as good as I can.
Thank you for being able to acknowledge that your mindset was none of our mindsets was always there, right?
Yeah.
But thank you for acknowledging that's how you were before. You just took it for what it was and didn't think about it, because people are afraid to say that that's how they do things, and that's how all of us do things until we figure it out.
Yeah.
Until we figure out that doesn't have to be that way. That you can create your own life.
So what other things after this, like you we were trying to get into, that you started looking into? Like, did you look into like further things other than what we talked about right now? Like
I mean, I did definitely went and looked for during the pandemic, look for more credible news sources and stuff like that. I've always been real interested in I would say extraterrestrials and then religion.
Nice.
Right? Because I definitely think there's other stuff out there, or other beings out there. The galaxy is never ending and vast, so there's no way we can be the only beings out here.
If there is a galaxy. He thinks there's a flat Earth.
Flat Earth. Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, I didn't hear that on the podcast. You know, I've been listening, bro. I'm a
just
fan.
kidding.
I'm a fan, but I haven't heard of any Flat Earth from you guys. But there definitely got to be something else out there. And then also, I'm not a religious person. Like I grew up Catholic. You know, I went to church every Sunday with my parents, and they put me in Sunday school, and I did my confirmation and communion and all that stuff. You know, so I grew up in the church, but it always just was like, this shit don't make no sense to me. You know what I'm saying? So I have recently gotten into like looking into, well, it wasn't just recent. Like I looked into it before, but I got back into it now. But I was watching videos on like the Anunnakis and stuff like that. And I honestly, it makes way more sense to me than the Bible.
Well, what's crazy?
I think it connects actually.
Yeah.
It could definitely connects. Yeah, definitely like aspects of it that interchange
based on the theories.
Yeah, based on. I mean, because I don't know what I'm talking about.
None of us do.
No one. Yeah, I wasn't there.
But it's interesting
you know what I'm saying?
to try and find out. That's how you know. You seek it. You seek the truth and try and find it.
Yeah. So recently, I've been watching videos on that, and not only just for truth, but I just like the stories. You know what I'm saying? Like I just like the myth, and
if anything,
I like the
it's
the
more
stories
interesting.
and
If anything, it would be more amazing of a life to live in that way, like the fantasy stuff of like mythical stuff. It's like, damn, the more you get into it, if giants were real, if maybe there were dragons or the dinosaurs, like all these things, like damn, that's actually would be crazy if that's actually real.
Yeah.
I'd rather it would be. It's just more interesting.
No, and I think
Not
all
that
that,
I believe it 100%.
I don't know, man. I
but-
think all that stuff is real, though. I think all that stuff has happened one time or another on this earth. I think the earth is a lot older than we can even understand. You know what I'm saying? And all the stuff has happened at one point in time. It's just when we don't know.
I mean, did you hear about the that new sinkhole in China?
No.
You didn't hear about it?
No.
Damn. Okay,
Yeah,
so
put me
there's
on,
a
put me on,
sinkhole in China that they found. It's like 630 feet deep, and it has ancient trees in there that's been there for I don't remember. I read the article, kind of scanned it, but it's been there untouched for a long time. It has ancient trees and all this stuff, and it's been actually blowing up.
Damn, that's dope.
I haven't heard of what. So what?
No, I was just saying.
Well, because that ties in very well with what I was going to say, which I recently watched. I was telling you earlier, I watched a podcast. I think it was called the Aubrey Marcus podcast, but I could be wrong. But I know it's AM. I'm pretty sure Audrey Marcus. And I don't really know what he does, but I just randomly came across the
Joe
episode.
Rogan's partner, if I remember correctly.
Is it?
Aubrey Marcus? Yeah, he's the guy who like started on it with Joe Rogan.
Oh, well, I didn't know that. That's cool. Cool fun fact. So he had a guy on that I also
Joe
didn't
Rogan
know.
expert here.
Yeah,
Bro,
right.
I've been for years and years listening to Rogan, man.
So he had a guy on. His name was Matias, and he has a channel or a series on Gaia also, which I haven't seen. But he had this 2.5 hour podcast I watched about that allegedly he remembers his past lives and has experienced the 9-dimensional reality that we live in. Right, with us currently being in the 3rd dimension, 3D. Right.
So let me stop you. He says that he thinks that there's 9 dimensions. Is what he's saying?
Correct.
Not 12.
Correct.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh,
Yes.
he can remember 9.
No. He's this is again. I'm just explaining what he says, but he says there is 9 dimensions of the existence, the universe or multi-universe, whatever you want to think of. The existence of everything is 9-dimensional. We live in the 3rd dimension. He has somehow been able to recollect images and ideas and concepts and an understanding of each dimension and how they apply to our world down to the 1st dimension. And he actually goes through in this 2.5 hour podcast and actually breaks down each dimension and like what it is, why we're there, how it works. Then he a little bit talks about his past lives or memories of past lives that he's had. We all allegedly have past lives. And it's crazy because his whole story has bits and pieces of all religions, right? Tied into this giant picture of the reality of the existence based on his understanding. And it makes, like you said, it makes so much sense with everything I've learned. Luckily, I've learned a lot of bits and pieces that tie in together here. And it even he even talks in that one about the origin of religions, especially the major ones. So Islam, Christianity, Catholicism, all of that. back to the ancient Greeks, the ancient Romans. He actually goes through all of this stuff in a way that I've never heard. Fantastic episode. So you guys have got to watch it. And there's like 3 or 4 more episodes in the series, but I only watched that one.
Yeah, I'll definitely check that out.
What do you think that we have past lives? Do we have reincarnation?
I have no idea, dude.
Oh, that's a great answer.
That's a perfect answer.
That's the perfect answer. Because I don't know either.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it makes sense.
It makes sense.
People who answer stuff like that with confidence and like, oh, absolute.
That was a test. You passed.
With absolute, man. You're ridiculous. Man.
So
I was just saying, like even as far as religion, like I wish people were a lot more humble. You know, as far as their religion goes, you know, you get a lot of people who are very religious and have a lot of faith in their whatever religion they practice, and they don't like take into consideration other religions or even just not believing in a higher power at all. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you don't know. Like none of us know.
It's share it with people who share your belief, and if they don't, then it doesn't matter.
Nor have you. Well, here's the main thing for me though is the fact that you haven't even read all of the other religions or studied the other religions. Where it's like, how are you just committing to this without even knowing everything?
Because it's fear.
At least doing that.
Just like the laws, just like the government, just like everything, it's based in fear. Yeah. Unfortunately. Now I'm not talking down on any religion, but that's pretty much how most of them are based. And he went my synopsis of what he talks about in terms of the existence of 9 dimensions and the meaning of life and everything ties into really what I think I've come up with for myself at this point in my life with my purpose and meaning for life, which is simply to exist. Like it's simply to experience my life. Like everything. Well, you've
accomplished it because you're already existing.
Exactly. Like I'm here. I'm experiencing what I'm experiencing for some reason, which also he talks about those reasons also.
So he thinks that there's a reason.
Well, the reason is what I explained, right? But is to experience it, but it has a little bit more of people can tie it in a little more. I understand it more because I heard it, but he ties it into the meaning is your experience, and your experience is the meaning. Okay, right? Yeah. Like,
which is essentially kind of what I was gonna say. It was just like no purpose.
Basically, think of whatever your imagination of God, right, or the divine, or the ultimate power, creator of the universe. You are that power in a one particular expression, right? You are your unique version of you. Like, right? You're like a fractal. You know what fractals are, right? A fractal geometry that you see. You are that, right? Every time you look at that piece, you go in, it's another version of that. Like, we are all the creator of the existence being expressed in this moment in this way. We die, and it just happens again in other expressions, in other ways that we maybe can't understand right now. But it doesn't end, right? There was the existence of your life force, your soul or spirit, however you want to imagine it, existed before you were in this body and came out of your mother. And it will exist after you leave this earth. How and where and what that's like, I don't know. But I know that that's the case because nothing else makes more sense, right? Like, we don't remember it for some reason, but that doesn't mean it didn't exist.
No, I could definitely, I could get with that.
Like a TV. Hold on, my bad. It just hit me. Like a TV, right? When it's off, everything that's playing on TV is still playing on TV. It's just not playing through that TV. And when you turn it on, you can wire into whatever channel and frequency you want, and that's the life that's happening. Yeah. And then when that TV shuts off or is unplugged or is smashed, that TV doesn't exist. But everything that was going on TV is still happening.
It's still happening, yeah. That makes sense to me. I mean, that's cool. I'm cool with that.
It makes sense, but I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, that makes the most sense to me.
Yeah,
absolutely. I never talk as if I'm not like, oh yeah, there's no God or I don't know.
That's just like he said, that's what makes the most sense now. Yeah. And if you have a better idea, then give it to me.
Yeah. I've had a conversation one time with a group of friends, and I was like, but they were Christian, so they believed in Jesus Christ and the Father, Son, Holy Spirit kind of stuff. And I was like, but why this religion? Why not the other ones? Mm-hmm. There's other religions out there, so why this one? Why that God? And they can never, and I feel like they can never really answer that. Or
they don't want to.
Yeah, they circle around and tell you this and that.
They say surface level things that never really gets into the real core of why.
Because if you question it, then you are going against it.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you question your God, you're automatically is that an actual sin, right?
I believe so. I believe like that's one of the things to get into heaven is like you have to have faith. Undying
faith and belief and nothing else. And I think that's where it comes back to the fear thing. Again, no disrespect to anybody's beliefs or anything, but I don't see why you can't, like, I kind of lost my train of thought, but just understand how all these pieces have come together in a way, like let me you guys talk about something. Let me collect my thought.
No, I think I get what you're saying too, but like me personally, I don't take part in any religion. Yeah. My wife was she grew up Christian. I grew up Catholic. I don't take part in religion. I don't go to church. She has wanted to take our daughter to church and kind of present her to the church, and I'm like, if you want to do that, that's cool. I'm fine with that. I don't want to necessarily though push any religion on her. Yeah. If she gets to the age of whatever, she wants to be like, oh yeah, I want to start going to church. And I'm like, cool. You want to go with your you want to go with your grandparents, or you want to go with your mom? That's fine with me. Whatever you want to believe in, that's cool. Yeah. But I don't want to push anything onto her. Yeah. And I don't know.
The whole idea though of church itself, I feel from the information I've gathered, has lost its purpose, because going to a church, people are like, oh, I have to go to church or whatever because I'm going there for God or whatever. Whatever. I don't even know because I don't pay attention to that at all. But pretty much, really, what the church is supposed to be is, you're going to church to connect with God in their religion, but that's the same thing as the reason why monks would go to a temple, why you would go to a temple for meditation, why we do those things. But when they're going to church, they're not connecting why they're going there, because there's supposed to be, when the difference is, let's say for Indian gurus, right? They will go to a temple, or they will create a temple, and people who are meditating, they're going to a temple for a reason, because when you're meditating, you're trying to raise your frequency to a point and your energy to a point to connect with God or the creator or consciousness. That you are. And the reason why you're going to the temple is because the temple is supposed to have a certain energy and there's a certain structure in the way that it's supposed to be built, that it creates a certain energy around it. So there's like a temple, like one of these temples is crazy, the craziest temple I feel like I've ever, there's probably might be crazier ones, but there's one called Kailasa. Kailasa Temple, if you look it up, it's in the mountain in India, carved into the mountain. There's no redos. You carve into it. No one knows who created it, because you don't create a temple for glory. You don't create you create a temple to raise consciousness. Yeah. So it's a huge temple that pretty much was carved into the stone. There's all these different artworks and all this stuff, and it's all in the stone, not like all intricate everything. There's no redos. Made perfectly. Like, first of all, besides the fact that the amount of advanced tech that would probably have to go into actually creating that besides that point, but the whole point of that creation is for you to go there to meditate, and it's a support system. So it's not necessary. Yeah. It's a tool for you to use to try and reach what I would call, or other people call, enlightenment or higher consciousness of life.
And I understand that aspect of church. Like, I understand the community. And I think there is a place for religion in society. I think we definitely,
it's order to create. I feel like that's what.
Yeah, there's a place for it, man. Because us as beings, we're just so flawed that we need something with structure. We need something to follow. We need someone to follow, and the church does provide that for a lot of people. So.
Well, not everybody, like we talked about. Not everybody's mind opens up to this information or these things up until a certain point in their life, right? Like for you, it was in the last 2 years. For us, it was in the few years before or years before that. But no matter where you're at in your life, let's say if you'd follow any type of church, then like you said, I think that's cool that it's a part of that, because those lost people or for lack of a better term, I'll say lost people, have somewhere to go to build that community and to get that sense of fulfillment and because knowing all the things that that at least that I know now about religion has helped me with my understanding of everything else. Yeah. So no matter what religion you go into, I think it's a great thing. I think you're going to learn things that are fantastic. I think you're probably going to come out, if you follow those ideas, as a better person for the most part. Like most reasonable people can do that. And I think that's great. You know, our entire country, government is all based on religion, right? Or based on Christianity. Our money says, "In God we trust," right? It's not a bad thing. It has its place, but it's how you apply it, how you identify with it. Those things, I think, are what's more important. And when he's talking about the mountain, when he's talking about, you know, the creation of all these things, I just kept harping on the creator aspect, because we are that creator, right? We are, again, for lack of a better term, God, the ultimate. We are in the religions that I know of, they all in some way tell you that you are him and he is you, right? Just like Jesus was the Holy Trinity and all those things, right? And I refer to Christianity because that's the one that I just know verbally the best, at least. Yeah. But when you actually understand that is you and you are it, him, whatever you want to think of, then you can understand that more in just creating things like art and temples. You can understand that you are also the judge, right? That you are also the one who, you know what. Now, barring any people who are in a state of dis-ease, who can't function properly, and maybe their mental aspects aren't, their judgment, all that thing is all convoluted because of health issues that they're not aware of. Barring those circumstances, we all know if we're doing something wrong. We all know if this is good for people or society or those around us. But that doesn't mean that it stops everybody all the time, but they know. And that means that's the judge, right? That's the ultimate, our subconscious, the full power of the creator of existence. That's you in your own mind talking to yourself. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely.
And once we understand that, I think people will just be so better off, because you won't look outward. You'll look inward for answers. You'll look inward for understanding. You'll look inward.
All the answers are inward.
And that doesn't mean you're gonna hear it when you want to hear it, but you'll figure it out when you need to or when you're supposed to. And the quicker that you seek it, the quicker you'll get it. And I think that's the interesting part, is once you start seeking, maybe you could then wander from the church to experience what else is out there. Before you're a seeker, maybe church might help you out. But once you start seeking, you got to go out, because that doesn't mean you have to condemn it, but you have to get out, because you have to see and get other experience and other perspective.
There was one thing that Sadhguru said about seeking the truth, which you know Sadhguru is, right? I always be posting them.
Shout out Sadhguru.
But
can't wait till
when
you
he
come
talks about how, like, when you wanting to know the truth irks you and like it bothers you so much that you can't sleep at night, that you can't function to do other things, at that moment, that's when you would reach enlightenment. Yeah, because it would hurt you so bad, and it would piss you off so much that it's like, I need to know right now. And then you're completely committed to actually understanding the truth. And this is going with the answer is inside of you, because you are part of the creation. So the whole creation is inside of you.
Yeah, that. I had the enlightenment during the pandemic, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
many people have.
It irked me so much to not know what the hell was going on, and to have people around me telling me just telling me shit and not really knowing what they're talking about, man. You know
I think when we use the word enlightenment too, I should say that when most people say it, they think of automatically the ultimate, right? Enlightenment, the true full enlightenment. But I think on a casual conversational perspective, it's good to say that our version of enlightenment is simply exposure and growth and a raise in vibration at any level, right? Like anytime you get lighter, you are enlightened, right? That doesn't necessarily mean you have to be at the max yet, but we're just on a goal to get there, to get information, man, to figure it out.
No, I can definitely get behind that, man. That makes tons of sense to me.
Do you feel like there's a part of that now, a part of that understanding or existence, of understanding our existence? Where in that journey are you now? Is what I'm trying to say. Where, in what you're looking into or what you're thinking about. What is it like? Where are you at? What's your wall right now that you're kind of like, damn, I wonder what's going on here, or you kind of just like baby mode?
Yeah, I'm still learning, man. And little by here and there, I'll dig into things, but For me, the like I said, I had to take a step back just because it was taking too much of my time to look into these things and to find answers. That I've taken a step back lately, and I've wanted to focus more on family. Also wanted to focus more on like just this past year in July, I started a business, so focus on that. One of my biggest things right now that I've been looking into is real estate and just learning about money. So I want to learn how money works. I want to learn how the system works, as far as tax and credit and all that stuff. I want to be able to set up, even if it's just my daughter or future kids, my family, like I want to be able to set them up. So
maybe your wife too.
Yeah. So no, my family. Just I want to be able to have things in line and things set up. So, say 15, 20 years from now, 30, I don't even know, how long am I going to be here? I don't know. I just want to have things lined up and set up for them and them have opportunity that, maybe I didn't have just because my parents didn't know, they were young and they were raising a kid when they were kids, you know? So, and they didn't have people around them who knew the answers or who was able to point them in the direction. So I definitely want to be that guy and definitely want to be able to set up my family for the future. So that's
where the balance comes in, bro. Like, because you can't just focus on the stuff we're talking about. Exactly. Like you mentioned, you have to also make sure that you're leveling up your finances so that you can move to a next financial level, right? And then you got to level up your education on your local government so you can figure out what schools you want your kids in. You know what I mean? So
it's a lot.
It's a heavy balance, and you just have to find that. For what I've discovered for me is that the balance for me for everybody is so subjective, right? It's like, what type of life do you want to live? I think that people don't ask that question often enough. They think about what we want to do, but they don't really think about the lifestyle of the day-to-day life they want, right? I want a day-to-day life that I enjoy and don't feel like I'm tired of or feel like I need to go on a vacation, right? I want to feel like my day-to-day life for the most part is vacation, right? Yeah, I'm not at the beach every day. I can't be in the pool all day, but I'm having a good time. And to me, when I go on vacation, I want to have a good time. So if I'm having a good time all day, that's vacation.
That's vacation. Right? No.
So,
I'm with you, man. I'm with you on all that stuff. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at in life, is I want to be able to, because firefighting, my department, by the time I'm 55, I'll be fully retired, full pension, all that stuff. So I got that lined up. That's there. As long as I get through these next few, next years through work, not a few years. I still got some time to go on 17? The job. No, man, I still got like 20 years to go. So I still got another 20 years, but within these next 20 years, I want to have things set up so that when I'm retired, there's nothing else that needs to be done. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm chilling.
Yeah.
My kids and my wife, everybody's set up. You know what I'm saying?
Bitcoin, man. I'm just kidding.
I know. If I would have known about Bitcoin, I'm buying stuff now that I know about, but I haven't bought any Bitcoin. So
yeah,
crypto hasn't done it for me.
I think
I might do NFTs though. I might be selling NFTs if you guys are interested.
I'm never doing.
I'm putting just a little money in crypto.
No, I'm gonna make them. I'm not gonna buy them.
Yeah, I'm just putting just a little money in crypto. I haven't gotten to the NFTs. NFTs still feel a little sketchy for me.
NFTs make 0 sense whatsoever.
I get it. I don't like them, but I get it. It's just you. Do you get it though?
I mean, I feel like I don't, because it feels so
What's
stupid.
your understanding? I'll give you my understanding.
It's just, I look at it as a digital art, I guess.
Yeah,
that's created, that's unique, just like anything else that would be created.
That's unique. That's it right there.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and then charging dumb prices for no reason.
Well, that's so you could say the art community is dumb too.
No, because that's different, because you're actually it's a craft.
I understand you
because you're hand doing it, and you're painting.
You can do that on an iPad with a pen too.
But all they're doing is photoshopping a damn freaking monkey with some fucking shades
No,
on.
I'm with you. I'm not
and
defending
then let's buy and sell this. What?
No, but it is the same concept.
Yeah.
It is like I just recently heard somebody equate it to the art community and how rich people take art and they use it to stash away money. You know what I'm saying? They use it to, they put insurance policies on it, and they freaking just avoid taxes because they own art and they put money in. You know what I'm saying? They have these insurance policies and they put money into this artwork. And there's like tons of stuff that like rich people do that avoid paying taxes and shit. That, I mean, us as normal.
I mean, I guess I understand the connection through an art piece, but I think it's just so different.
Yeah,
Like,
it's silly.
I don't know. It's just not.
Well, just
the
like the
same
metaverse, but that's
at all.
coming. I mean, it's here.
Yeah,
It's not
bro. It's silly. I don't get
I
it.
wonder
I
how many
don't.
people actually are playing.
A lot of
that.
people, millions of people.
Like it's crazy. I've seen a
I'm sure it's
video,
millions.
and it was actually kind of disturbing for me. Like,
Did
the
I
guy
send
was
you the
just
video?
Constantly on there.
Did I send you
I
the
think
video?
you might have been the one who sent
of
me.
where he's like finding friends. And
Yes.
That's a
yes,
weird. It was
yes.
that was my first experience ever seeing like what goes on, and I think he did a challenge where he was in there for like 3 days or something, and he wanted to like videotape his experience. It was all very weird. It was all very, very weird.
Yeah, I'm not into that.
Weird. Like it's just weird in a way.
He's
you
done it
can't
for
ex-
10 days. He was in
Who?
the metaverse straight. No,
Who?
I'm just kidding.
I don't even have an Oculus. You
What,
can't
the Ready
even log
Player
into
One
that.
over here? Ready Player One?
Yeah,
Ready
bro.
Player One?
Well,
I mean, hey, that's a little different, though.
How?
Not good.
No,
No,
it's-
it's not. It's
That's exactly
the
what
same.
it
I'm
is.
just talking
Yeah,
shit.
I was like, that's exactly what it is.
question about schools again. When we're talking about your daughter,
Uh-huh.
knowing about these agendas and these things that go on with our government, knowing the origin of our public school system, right, and the origin of it to create good workers, right? Essentially, I'm paraphrasing, but essentially good factory
Or
workers,
slaves, but
production
yeah.
workers. Yeah, well, however you like to term
Whichever
it,
way.
Yeah.
right?
Definitely.
Synonym.
How do you feel? I don't know. I'm guessing you went to public school too, right?
Mhm.
We did.
Yeah.
I had a great time in public school, but now as an adult with my perspective of the world, I feel terrible about public school. And I know that there are obviously, like everything else, good parts to everything.
Educationally, not socially.
Wait. No, I'm talking about functionally. I'm not talking about the socially.
Okay,
it's a cool thing.
Okay, yeah.
I'm talking about the fact that it's kind of a government indoctrination of the young mind of your child all day long.
Yeah.
And that's essentially where at grade school it's fine because you still go home every night with your family. Once that indoctrination level reaches college, where most people aren't home anymore, that's why that's like the core base for all of this social justice warriors and all these things that are happening all over the world with like these very dramatic events, polarizing events. That's all really, I feel like, from what I hear, listening to people like Jordan Peterson, all them, and it makes sense. That's really manifesting and blooming and blossoming in college and universities, right? Because you have these people who don't have very involved parents, very involved families, people who don't have people to look up to for good information or to find information. So they take whatever this teacher who is brainwashing them gives them, and then they become an adult, and now they're doing the same thing. They're just multiplying, you know what I mean, and creating those robots. Yeah. I don't want my daughter to become that, but I also don't want her to miss out on a lot of the amazing parts of public school that I experienced.
I think that also comes from them being looking up to a mentor, like a teacher or something, is also looking at certain people that are what they envision as successful because they have a nice car, they have money, they have these apartments and stuff, and that's really it's like, oh, as long as I just copy what they're doing, I'm gonna be like that because that's the materialistic type of life I want, and that's what's driving them to kind of be brainwashed.
That's interesting. I never thought about that perspective
because they're thinking that's the lifestyle I want because they've been brainwashed also with social media now and all these things. That's what's important, is getting those things, and that's what makes you have a great life. When in reality, we all know obviously it's better to be rich. Obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather be rich than poor. However, that's not the core to your happiness.
Yeah.
That's just a tool for you to engage your happiness in a different way and in more opportunities.
I mean, I think social media can help in some of those aspects where you're talking about just exposing your kid to other things, like just letting them know that there's other ways to be creative and make money, and it's not just
more now than ever.
Yeah, it's not just a school route. You don't have to do just school. So I think that's one thing I'll try. Because I mean, I don't think we're gonna homeschool. I think she's probably gonna go out and do public school more than likely. The biggest thing I can do is that when she's home, I can try to, if I see her really interested in something, just try to nurture that and reinforce it. And expose her to as much as I can, just expose her to different situations and see if she, maybe comes across a passion, maybe I believe there's definitely times I'm new to parenting, but I'm sure while your kid's growing up, there's things that you'll see that they're really good at.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? and just to encourage that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try my best to just do that, just to teach her that there are other ways. You know, it's like you don't have to go to college. If you don't want to do college, that's fine.
I was trying to tell you about, or I was trying to remember the name of a school. There's a type of school that you can send your kids to. There's only a few in Florida. Pennsylvania has a lot. I know that through a friend of mine. I wish I could remember, but essentially the model of the school is that the kids that go, there's no curriculum, right? You go there and you just explore things, and whatever the kids want to do, they just let them keep doing
Sadhguru
that.
has a school like that.
I forgot. There's a name for the type of school. I just forgot what it is.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I've thought about wanting to create a school like
that's
that.
a fire idea.
I don't know. I feel like you still have to have certain things. You know, like you still want to learn history. You still have to, learn like science and math. I mean, but
I don't know.
At least the
man.
core stuff. You know,
I think that
you don't think so.
No. I don't want to just like black and white say no either. But I think that there's something to it because, for one, you don't remember, I feel like, a lot of most of the shit that you learn in school, right? But also, I don't even know how much I trust most of the shit that I learned in school anyway, now that I really look at things, right?
Yeah.
Now, the stuff that's really important, basic math, communication skills, knowing how things work with science, things like that, I think that we all learn those things as we grow up and live anyway. I don't think that it necessarily has to be taught the way that it's taught.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And I think that that's kind of probably, I'm guessing that is somewhat what happens in those schools where they present certain ideas and subjects, and whatever you gravitate towards too, you focus more on that, because when you grow up, you're going to focus more on the job you pick anyway, not the millions of things you learned over the last 15 years. So why not start at that time anyway and then explore the rest of it?
Because I think also the value that would come from a school like that, where it would be that, because what happens is
Prodigies everywhere.
in the educational system and how it is now, it's structured is it's giving you surface level shit for 1,000 things.
Yeah.
Surface level knowledge for 1,000 things.
For 20 years.
For 20 years. So if you focused on, like what you said, which is what I was going to talk about before you even said something, was if you focus on what the talents of that person is, the tendencies on how that individual, unique human being, their talents are, and if you're able to have an eyesight for what it is and try and expand on that, imagine doing 20 years of just that. Because it's only those things that you focus that intensely on that matter.
Yeah.
People that are like prodigies, Bruce Lee or all these other people, they've only focused on that thing so intensely, and that is what is beautiful in life whenever you look at it.
Yeah.
So that's what would be the more value to it, because what they're doing is just creating a bunch of people who have basic information about everything, a jack of all trades, or not even a jack, a freaking slave of all trades. and then you know nothing.
Yeah.
And then you come out 25, I'm not an expert in anything.
Then you do it for 4 more years.
Yeah.
And then you get out and
then you
still
actually
get
start
paid.
looking at learning.
And now you got debt.
And then you still get paid 15, and then you get hired and you still don't know shit, and you got to train the way that place does it, and everything you learn doesn't even apply.
And then you got debt, like
you
he
got
said, and then now
thousands of dollars
now
in
it's like,
debt.
oh wait, you wanted to do that? No, wait, you actually have to pay this off. So now you just got to work.
So then you say, oh, well, I just did all that. I might as well go get me a new car because I deserve it. And now you got even more debt. And now you can't even quit the job you hate 2 years later because you bought that car because your teacher had it. And now your whole life's ruined.
He's speaking from experience.
No,
No, I'm just kidding.
Only
I'm
a
just
little
kidding.
bit of experience.
That's
Not
real,
that
man.
way, but
That's real.
basically, we all get so caught up in these things. And then, and I've been a bit victim of this before too. So debt, I think that debt can be a useful thing if you have that strong, motivating discipline, right? Or motivation and discipline. But obviously for most people, it's terrible, but you can use it. I think that in America, we're lucky enough to be able to use it to really elevate our life position, even though there's obviously parts like I preach debt's terrible, but I also know that there's a powerful part of how you're able to elevate your lifestyle if you can use it properly.
Yeah.
But most of us don't. We just want to buy shit, and then we can't pursue what we really do enjoy because we have to pay for the shit that we don't even actually care about that much. You like it, yeah, but you don't. That's not what you really care about. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
that's some of the stuff I'm digging into now, so that way I can pass that along to the my next generation. Is just learning about debt, learning about credit, learning about how just the way money works in general.
They don't teach
just the system. Yeah,
I mean, it's
they're doing that now. DeSantis signed a bill, and there's actually a financial literacy course
we'll see what
coming
they
up.
actually teach.
Well, listen,
I mean, if they're not teaching that
perfect.
money is debt and
Oh, yeah. I see what you mean.
I'm talking about real.
Yeah. I see what you
stuff.
mean, because they could convolute the whole thing. Well, that would be interesting. Another interesting point, because I think that's the problem with schools is like it would be interesting if the parents chose the curriculum, right? Or I like the no curriculum thing, but even better than what we have now is at least if the whoever at that school, whoever's kids are going to that school at that time, they all get to come together and decide how it's going to work. That's at least better than some random old government board doing it. At least.
I think everyone in the government who's been in there more than 6 years needs to get the fuck out.
there definitely need to be term limits.
Like for everybody,
not just the president.
Exactly.
Yeah, everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Needs to go.
Absolutely.
Like,
Right. By the way, I meant to tell you that your term is up on the podcast.
oh yeah.
So I was gonna ask you if you wanted to be the new co-host.
Yeah, I got you, man. I'll start my 6 years today.
Everybody.
Nah, absolutely, man. Yeah. I mean, I think about all that stuff, man. I mean, now that I've, I started a little side business, man. I've come across some money. I got some money flow coming in other than, just my career.
What's that biz,
I got
man? You slinging kicks? I see you with the Yeezys on.
I wish, man. I'm passionate about shoes, and I wish my business was, you know what I'm saying? Something I'm not even passionate about it. It's just something I'm doing because I know how to do, and it's kind of a niche thing. But so what we do is we resurface bathtubs, and we work on bathtubs. So I fix fiberglass, porcelain.
So
sometimes you get an old house. You ever seen an old house that have like a mint colored tub or a pink tub? Maybe you're doing a rehab. The tub's fine. You don't want to rip it out. I can come in and resurface it.
Oh, dope. Is it he who you were helping at one point?
Yeah.
You said something. You said you what?
And it's way cheaper.
Oh, well, good to know, because I did not know that.
Yeah.
But you said something interesting because I could relate to it. It was that it's not something you're passionate about, but you did it because you were good at it, and you know how to do it. And it's making you money, right? Yeah. That's how barbering was for me when I was younger, right? I did it because I knew how to do it. People liked the work, and I made money. It was cool. I had a good time. Now, even though for the most part that still is the case, what I love most about what I do is not what I do, right? It's not the cutting of the hair. That's what I love most. It's like everything else that comes along with it.
The networking, the connections.
The connections with people, the lifestyle, the hours, the freedom, the environment, the music, the result, the feeling of the people when they leave, like all of those things are it. So now although I think it's great to find your passion, I understand why people sometimes say, don't find your passion or just do something, or you know what I mean? I think I've heard something along those lines.
Yeah.
And I the gray area, I feel what they're saying, because if you're trying to find your passion, but you're not doing anything, you're not trying to find your passion.
Yeah.
Like if you're not constantly trying new things and doing something different than what you're doing, you're not going to find what you love to do.
Yeah.
And even if you find something you don't hate to do that until you figure out, because you might learn something else about that you really love to do. You know what I mean? And I just think that's people make, it's like a running joke in my family and all that about my phases and all the hobbies and stuff that I go through. And now it's crazy because now even my clients do it, and the barbers at the shop. They're like, hilarious. Oh, what is it this month? I just started learning guitar.
He always does every phase.
You saw me.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, I was doing the guitar like a few minutes
Snakes,
ago.
this, golf, this. Like,
I mean, you're trying to figure it out, man. I feel like there's so many people out here, they don't know what they're really passionate about.
Yeah.
Because they've gone through the school system, they've gone through the public school system, and they learned to just follow a curriculum, you know what I'm saying? And they don't really know what they're passionate about. And even me, I struggle sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm still trying to find that.
Because they're not really they're, like you said, trying to look for a passion. They're looking for a survival job.
Yeah.
To make money to survive.
And
that's, you're not going to find, when you start to that, like that's a struggle that we're all go through, is because we are obviously in this system and we have to work and we have to survive on a basic income level. But once you get past that and you say, fuck it, and just commit to that shit, then you're living the life that you want.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah,
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was saying, like I said, I struggle even right now. I'm struggling with, like, I can make money, and I can make a lot of money off this thing that I'm doing now. But it's leveraging that into something that I'm truly passionate about.
You can do that.
Yeah.
And what did I forget again? Forget what I was gonna say. Now, I had a client yesterday, and I love this guy. Right, he's actually a good friend and a client. But he said something that kind of broke my heart a little bit, man, because he was talking about something, and he said, "Oh yeah, we were talking about a girl that he's talking to, he just started getting with, and he was like, oh yeah, and she's a smoker too." He's talking about smoking weed, and
so
he was
you
like,
loved him, and he broke your heart and left you for the girl.
No, so he's talking about the girl. The girl he's just got with. He was like, yeah, man, and thank goodness she smokes because that's like what I do. You know what I'm saying? And I have nothing against smoking, right? I've smoked. I get why people enjoy
Cigarettes?
it. No, weed,
Okay.
vapes, stuff like that. I get why people enjoy that. This had nothing to do with that. But the fact that he's like, that's what I do. That that people view that as an activity.
That's
right?
his identity.
People, yeah, and yeah, the identity thing is a big thing too. But just that's not something to do. That's something you do in between things that you're doing, right? But it's not like, oh, yo, let's get together and just smoke or just do that. Like you can do that and that's cool. I've done it before.
A lot of people do that.
No, I know, and you can do it. That's cool. But for the fact, I'm not hating on smoke sessions or sitting down and having a drink, right? But that shouldn't be the only thing you do. You should be experiencing things. You should like explore interests, like do something. Like I don't care what you do, but if you tell me that you go to work, like, but if you go to work and come home and smoke and go to work and come home and smoke, like I'm like, bro, and we're all different. I don't know what it feels like to be them, but I imagine you're interested in something. And I'm just like, come on,
so you're gonna lie right now and say you don't know what it feels like to be them?
I don't know what it feels like to be them.
That's what you used to do for a hobby.
For what are you talking about?
Smoking.
No. I've never only smoked. I've always smoked and done everything else that I do. Yeah. I've always still had a million hobbies. I've always still gone places.
Okay.
I've always still done everything. I've never just only smoked. I've smoked
That
a
was
lot.
one thing that I liked about Felix was he never just smoked.
Yeah.
Like I actually sometimes forgot that he smokes because he would just smoke real quick, boom, and then we're going to do something.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, I forget he even smoked.
That's cool, yeah.
Like
I couldn't do it, man. I've tried it like a handful of times, bro, and it just makes me lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me want to sleep and stuff, so I can't do that stuff. But I mean, it's a sad reality, dude. I think there's a lot of people out there that they're okay with that, man. I mean, for the 80 years they're on this earth, for the 80 years they're on the earth, that's all they want to do, man. I mean, there's a lot of people out here that they don't want to find their passion. They don't want to do anything more. You know what I mean?
I think they just forget how fast time goes, and then next thing they look, they're enjoying themselves. They're not having a bad time. They're not miserable. Yeah. They're just smoking, and then 80 years goes by, and they look back, and they're like, oh shit, I forgot to do everything else I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's that they're in a bad place all the time. It's just they're distracting themselves with just the smoking, not the thing you should do after you smoke. Go smoke and chill on the beach. Go smoke and go jump through the woods or something.
But also, because I'm not knocking on smoking. It's just an experience or whatever. But when you start identifying with it, and a couple of people that I know specifically have told me when they tried to stop, one particularly, one of my friends said that when he stopped smoking, he said he thought of me, how I do everything without smoking.
Yeah, that's funny.
And he was like, damn, it was actually Daniel. And
way to call him out. Sorry, Daniel.
We don't there's a million Daniels out there. But so he was saying that he was thinking about how I do things, and when he stopped smoking, he was like, bro, I forgot what it feels like what reality feels like. Because you smoked so much that you forget what it's actually like to be sober.
To be in the moment and just be present. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to. No.
No. Did I? I mean,
no.
I'm not a non-smoker. Did I not?
I know. I just want to make it's just the verbiage for the listeners, for the viewers, because you can be in the moment and smoke, right? It's not when.
Well, you can only be in the moment. But anyways,
thank you. Asad Guru Jr. But no, you can be in the moment and smoke. It's crazy. Because I'm not like that anymore. At one point in my life, I did smoke all day long, every day for like a little extended period of time. And I understand that feeling after that. And it's not that you can't be in the moment. It's just a totally different experience of life in that mode, and you can't really, it's hard to explain because of the effect of weed. You know, you can't, it's hard to explain the high and all that. But I get it, because you go about your life in a different mental way. Like, I like what weed and THC does for me, because I get to use it in a certain way, just like a lot of artists and people do. But I also understand the way that it changes your my mental processes, right? I know how I normally think about things, and then I know how I think about things on weed, and I know that they have their pros and cons both ways, and I try to use them to my advantage. But if you are only blasted all the time and don't know how to use your brain both ways, then you run into that situation.
It's imbalance.
And then you get a clarity of like, holy shit, this is what clarity is. Because, you know, like you said, if you don't have the balance, bro, you have there's nothing wrong with, you know, doing what you want to do, but do other things and have a balance. That's all I'm saying. Like, go experience life. It just breaks my heart to see so many people. When I ask you what your hobbies are, for people who are like, I'm like, damn.
Yeah, it's sad, man. It's sad.
Yeah.
What are your hobbies?
He's a dad. He's a new dad. You have a pass. You get a pass. Before being a dad, what are your hobbies? There you go.
No, I have hobbies, man. I think my biggest thing right now is probably, like, I guess you could call it mixology or bartending.
Oh shit! Oh, slanging poison.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm just slanging poison, man. I recently, over the past couple of years, I was always really into bourbon and have ventured a little bit into whiskey, you know, my Irish whiskey, scotch and stuff like that. And then since we bought the house, I had a little bar set up. So I was like, man, I don't want to just have bourbon, you know? So I started buying a little tequila, rum, gin. And then I got into just mixing drinks. So a lot of times, man, I'm home chilling. The wife's working. She's on the computer working. I'll be in the baby sleep. And I was like, all right, fuck it. Let me just go to my little bar and start messing around. And
that's an interesting hobby. I never thought you were going to say that.
I'll watch some YouTube videos and I'll just make like craft drinks at home. You know, I'll make my own syrups and I do all kinds of stuff. And I'll just sit at the house and I'll play around and I'll make cocktails and I'll go over to the wife and be like, hey, what do you think?
Just watch that Red 40 and the red stuff, man.
Yeah.
My wife will get on you for that. She's all anti-Red 40. Well, as she should be.
She knows about Red 40.
As she should be. But I hear about it every 10 seconds.
That's why I make my own stuff at home. So no Red 40 at the crib. And
oh, good. I'm glad to hear it.
I try to do like spirits that are really good. I mean, that's one of the things with bourbon especially that really drew me to it is bourbon has really strict requirements as far as being called bourbon.
Oh,
like,
cool.
There's a lot of things.
Versus a whiskey.
Exactly,
right.
Yeah. You can have an American whiskey, and then you can have a bourbon. And they can be from the same state, the same country, you know.
And every bourbon is a whiskey, but not every whiskey is a bourbon.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. Same thing now with tequila. Like
that's why I said that. I knew.
No, he knows. He knows that.
I like bourbon. I like whiskey also. I really don't drink as much anymore. Sometimes I'll go through little like phases. But if I do drink, I like whiskey, bourbons, and rum.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just on a venture into rum.
And
I went from bourbon into tequila. And tequila's pretty interesting because they have the same.
If you want to die or like exorcism vomit all over the place, that's a real story.
Nah, man, you drinking that bad stuff. You drinking that Jose Cuervo. You drinking that gold shit. That's bad. That's
Me
bad
and my
stuff,
mom.
bro.
I was like 15, 16. We're on a cruise to Mexico.
Yep.
We're in Cozumel at the bank. You know those big old like Las Vegas Strip skinny cups that people have.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know you're not supposed to drink the water there, which I didn't technically, right? But I had a giant drink with tequila in there, margarita with all the ice in there. And I chugged that whole thing down. Me and my mom got back on that cruise ship blasted, and I just started exorcist vomiting. I've never exorcist vomited before. And that's exactly what happened when I got to the room. It is literally projectile. It's projectile vomiting. And I've never felt so good after I was done.
It was probably more of the Red 40 they were putting in your drink than the was it Montezuma's Revenge?
Bro, I have no idea.
It's Montezuma's Revenge, man.
But I will always remember that day because of the way that it felt walking on the ship and seeing the grand piano, and then also the projectile vomiting.
Yeah, so that's kind of my hobby right now. It's been my thing is I'll be at the house and I'll just be crafting cocktails.
I never really got into it because I've always wanted to stop drinking forever. So it was kind of like if I got into that,
yeah,
then I would want to keep drinking.
I get it. I get it. You said the poison. I get it. I mean, you boys on your fruit adventure. You know what I'm saying?
You know, we're not perfect, bro. First of all, look at him. But second of all, bro, I still intake some THC. I have a beer if I feel like it at lunch. You know, but it's just about understanding.
Is THC not natural? It's natural though, right? It's a natural.
Yeah, but
the plant. It's the smoking though.
Well, I don't smoke anymore either, but for me, it's more like I want to. Okay, so we have THC in cannabis and all those receptors that we have, right? Because when we intake that drug, that's where it goes right into those receptors. It fits perfectly. There's a reason we have them there, right? But a lot of potheads will say there's a reason we have those receptors. We're supposed to be smoking the shit out of this stuff. No. But that's not necessarily true. Our body, which I've learned from these people like Sadhguru and such, is a chemical manufacturing warehouse, right? The most advanced on the planet, with that he says, which makes obvious sense because there's so many parts of our body we don't even understand to this day. So those receptors are there not because you're only supposed to eat and drink water, really, right? So those are there because your body can produce that chemical. Your body can produce the chemical that is supposed to go in that receptor, except the difference is you have to know how to produce the chemical. I don't know how to do it.
Or your body would have to be healthy enough to produce it.
Right. Okay. And I'm not in that state, so I do enjoy indulging in some THC. Yeah. Right. Now, I don't really smoke like if somebody has one and they offer me, I might take a hit or something. But I usually vape it if I'm gonna. I still monitor that. I don't go crazy. But that's how I do it. And I know that I want to get to a level where I can produce that on my own. I'm just not there yet. And I go through waves. Like I said, last year, I took 6 months off of everything. I'll go a couple months off of stuff, and then I try to back off, but I'm not perfect. You know, I'm still living. I'm still experiencing things.
I get it, man. I know. I've talked to you before about like you have explained to me like there's ways for us to live like hundreds of years and shit. Yeah, like there's people or communities that have lived like really really long lives.
Yeah,
real quick.
And what kind of diets are they on?
That
primarily fruits,
or nuts,
and because they're the people that live the longest are usually in tropical island areas. Yeah. So that's where most of the fruit is produced.
Okay.
But it also depends. So their ancestors would have been eating that level. But because of us, we would have to revert back to that level genetically because we've been eating so much trash for so long that everyone's genetics is fucked. And genetics is just, it's not as complex as they try and explain it to you. It's just what your parents and your ate. What their parents ate and their health level when you were born, that is your genetics. And then whatever happens after you were born is what you ate or consumed. So pretty much when your body functions at its ultimate level, we can live way longer. Way longer.
Yeah, I have heard that. Like the level that you are at when you're producing a child, like when you conceive a child, those are the genetics you pass forward.
The strongest,
so like being being healthy as far as your diet or physically fit, you're gonna pass some of that along. Yeah, I have heard that study before.
And even aside from those genetics, before I forget though, remind me about those genetics and noses. But on the last note, real quick, when I was saying we're not perfect, just to clarify, we've dabbled in those things before and we may in the future. The thing is that we like to focus on not promoting those activities.
Okay.
Because those aren't the life fulfilling activities, right? Those aren't high vibrational activities. Those aren't things that are going to bring you more love, life, and happiness, right?
Consciousness.
More consciousness, exactly. So we want to promote the things that are going to do that, but not say that you'll never touch anything else, right? Because most of us have done it. The thing is, though, a big problem with our society and the media is that we know no one's perfect, but everyone is pushing all the worst things you can push and do, whether that be the habits of the alcohol or this or that, doesn't mean never touch it. It's just we want to try to promote the best thing. That was just on my mind and I wanted to word it.
I hear you. I have kind of been on a little bit of a fruitcake because I'm just starting to get back. I'm like, man, this is the heaviest I've ever been. I got to get back in shape, dude. Like I had a fire like a couple weeks ago.
I've been thinking that for years.
Bro, I had a fire a couple weeks ago.
I'm not even gonna say anything.
I'm like I told you, Chris used to train me back in the day, and I was like, Chris is fit. I need this dude to train me. I don't know nothing about fitness. I don't know nothing about lifting weights. All I do is play sports. I didn't lift any weights.
I saw his Facebook picture the other day. I was like, oh my God, I forgot he looked like that. It was crazy.
But I'm at that point right now where I'm like, bro, I see pictures of me and I'm like, no, I gotta get back to that. I gotta get back to that.
You know, it's bad when, like what he just said, I'll show a picture of somebody, be like, yeah, this is what I look like, and they'll be like, what? And they're like trying to be like, that's not the same person.
It's funny because
and
normally,
I'm just like, what?
Normally, like somebody will show you and be like, yeah, this is what I used to look like. And you're like, oh my God, you've come such a long way. You look fantastic. But then he shows you and you're like, I'm sorry,
like, wow,
bro.
That you? That really you?
Like, be like, bro, is there something I can help with? Do you need any money?
Oh, yeah.
No, but the other thing about the genetics and the noses that I was going to talk about was not only what you're eating now. Well, in a way, yes, but also the habits that you have in terms of, like, for example, breathing, right? Mm-hmm. You know the term mouth breather, right?
Yeah.
If you're a mouth breather, you're weakening your jaw muscles. You're not using your nasal passage. You start getting blocked up. Your sinuses are not filtering air and doing what they're supposed to do. Now, when you have a kid, they're going to have weaker jaw muscles. Yeah. Their nose and sinuses are not going to be able to filter. I'm bringing this up because I've always grown up with sinus issues. My dad had them growing up, still does. And part of what I learned through it, I read a book called Breath by James Nestor, I believe it's called. Technically, I didn't read it. I had it on Audible.
I was about to say, this is not the dude that was on Rogan, was it?
I think he was. I think that's where I heard it from.
Okay.
I think he was on Rogan, yeah. And I was listening to his Audible book, and I was doing, because I saw that episode too. Now that you reminded me, and when I read the book, just like anytime I see somebody, on a podcast or something, and they explain something and they're blowing your mind, and then you go read their the book they put out or what it is, and it's so much more in depth. It really blows your mind. And while I was running, that's what I would do. I would listen to it while I run in the morning. So I'd go on like a 3-mile run, half an hour of reading and my run. But I would also be learning about the breathing techniques and trying to practice and understanding why we are where we are in our state of health now. And based on his research, which everyone should go read that book, a lot of it not only has to do with the fruits and stuff that we're eating, but breathing habits. Because we don't know how to breathe properly. Yeah. Breathing is so powerful in terms of controlling your body and the systems and how they work. And that's what the yogic sciences teach. Yeah. And if you can't build your breathing and sinuses up, and like he said, we need to right now, if you have sinus issues or anything for that matter, you need to revert so much of the damage that has happened. Start practicing breathing in and out of your nose mostly through the day. Practice breathing deep diaphragm breaths, because you have to train now as if you've been doing the wrong thing your whole life. Your body is weak, and now you need to start. So you're going to be training hard just to get your baseline up in breathing. Yeah, I still have trouble with it, and it's so hard because we're used to just let it go. But we have to. And if you read the book and really understand the nasal passage, it's mind-blowing.
And there's I would say another aspect to that's not only just the training, but the food that you're consuming as well that helps with that. Because as a consequence of consuming the correct frequencies of food, which will resonate with your body to raise the health, raise your energies, everything, that will naturally fix those habits that would happen. Not probably 100%, because but once you get to that level, you become conscious of the things that are going on in your body,
and you can feel
and you're controlling it. Because there's a difference between consciously breathing and unconsciously breathing, and just making a habit. I don't think there is no such thing as a good habit. I mean, a habit itself is bad because it is something you're doing unconsciously.
Yeah, no, and I've realized that over the past few years, like, and I think the first time I realized it was working out. Like when I really began to dive deep into fitness and learning to control my breathing had helped big time. I swam in high school, and I didn't even realize that I was doing this when I was swimming. But learning to control your breathing and focus on your breathing is big time, dude. And it has helped me even now in my job now. It has helped me because I mean, I have a breathing apparatus on me. The bottle that's on my back is rated for 45 minutes. In reality, you're probably getting 25, 30 out of it. You know what I'm saying? When you're actually in a fire, your adrenaline's going, your heart rate's raised, and to really be able to focus on breathing, man.
Even for scuba diving and stuff
time.
Like that too.
It's big time.
And that's what happens when we talk about the distraction of what's going on within you and focusing so much on the outside world, that being people's problem. When you're working out, it's a great example. if you've never lifted weights before and you start doing curls, you're doing terrible curls. You don't know what it's supposed to feel like. You're pulling with the wrong muscles. You're going to be sore in muscles that are not biceps even closely, right? But then you keep doing it, keep focusing, thinking, envisioning, imagining the muscle you're using. Really like close your eyes and feel what you're doing. And in a couple weeks, a couple months, you're going to be able to learn to engage that muscle and really use it. And that applies
mind-muscle connection.
Yeah. Well, I would say mind-body connection because you need to do the same thing with your breathing. You need to do the same thing with your thinking. You need to do the same thing with your emotions, right? Close your eyes, think about what's happening within you before you let it out. And anything you let in, think about before you let it in. Right. And that's it. That's all we have to do. And the more you learn about these things like breathing, even right now, I'm having trouble breathing through my nose. Like it's like a physiological thing because I also have small like air holes. I had surgery on it before, but that doesn't mean I can't be conscious and try to elevate that level.
Speaking about being conscious of the body, there was something like breathing where I was actually I was eating very badly. I was very congested.
Still is eating very badly.
All right. Yes. So I was very congested in my nose, right? So I'm telling the person that I'm going to eat with that watch my body. When I'm going to eat, I will not be congested anymore because the body is now focused on digestion, not cleaning out the mucus that's inside of your nose. And when I started eating, this is why people think when you eat soup or whatever, oh, you're feeling better. Yeah, because now your body switched to digestion. It's not because you're fixing something. The soup didn't help you. I'm sorry, it didn't. It made you feel better. It made you be a little bit soother on breathing, but it didn't do anything beneficial for you.
Like medicine,
unless it was like an herbal soup or something like that, an actual real soup. And then as soon as I started eating, boom, I was clear. And then they were like looking at me like, oh shit. It's like, this is what it means when you're actually paying attention and being conscious of what's happening in your body.
Yeah, I could see that.
And then you start recognizing a whole bunch of things. Like one time when he lived in Miami, we ate the worst thing combination.
Oh my gosh. My God. I have pictures. I wish we had a screen. Well, we have a screen, but
if you send me the pictures, I'll put them up. So we ate pizza and Chinese. Mm-hmm. The worst combination you could possibly have.
I put lo mein on my pizza.
That sounds fantastic.
Granted, I mean,
it was good. It was good, but
yeah. So don't eat those things. But if you do, put the lo mein on the pizza.
So after we ate that, this was like years ago. I don't know what it was, like 5 years ago.
No, bro, that was like 2016, 2017.
Okay, so
17.
After I ate that, after I ate the pizza and Chinese, I told him, bro, look at my feet.
Them shits were giant.
Were so swollen.
Like Clifford the Big Red Dog's feet.
Like so swollen. It was great. It was scary. But I already knew about it. But for him, he's just like, what the fuck?
And then when the food kicked in, his feet really swelled up. It went to another level.
Did you bust out your shoes and shit?
But then if you see my feet when, like if I'm eating fruits or if I just wake up in the morning because I sleep with my feet elevated, because I know I have a lack of filtration in my lower extremities of my legs.
Oh, did you put like pillows on your feet?
Yeah. And then my feet will be white, completely white. As opposed to probably right now, they're a little red right now. But yeah, man. Those little signs that you pay attention to in your body, once you start learning them, then you start understanding how the body actually works. And it's about what you consume, really, is at the fundamental levels. Everything that you consume, breathe,
It's just unfortunate that Chris has been ignoring the main sign that his body's been giving.
I've been ignoring it. I mean, yeah. Bro, I've been noticing them. But
even when I shot up, don't get me wrong. When I did that, when I got back to drinking beer, like I told you last year, I was the smallest I had been since like high school. I was 150 pounds. I gained those 45 pounds in a terrible way, drinking beer and eating pizza. And I just felt horrible all the time. Even like, me with 45 more pounds, I wouldn't be like an obese person, but I felt like one. You know what I'm saying? I'm standing up and I felt my side rolls like on my side. Yeah. I was standing up as straight as possible.
Wait, up here?
No. Yeah, like where your side right here. I was standing up straight but felt it. And then I was like, okay, I'm fat. This is crazy. So I don't know how people who are obese. You know what I'm saying? Like obese people who I'm like, how do you even sit in your car?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not only that, let's
Or
get
use
really
the
crazy.
bathroom.
I was just going to say, how do you wipe your ass? Because I can see physically right now, you couldn't touch your asshole. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at the size of your ass, and I know you could not touch your asshole.
They use an extended arm. They carry in there.
And then you got to think, bro.
Depending on other people, bro.
You can't reach. If you're trying to reach, you might wipe something, but there's plenty you're not getting, bro. Plenty. That's wild to me. How do you live like that?
I've always kind of been a big kid, you know what I'm saying? Like even in high school, man, when I was small, like I gotta look at pictures of myself and I'm like, damn, I look skinny as hell.
Yeah.
And I was still 170 pounds, you know what I'm saying?
But you in the moment you didn't feel that way.
No, in the moment I felt fine. I mean, but I could look at myself and I know I've always been kind of big. I've always kind of been heavier than, you know, some people. I'm a little dense. But even right now, I'm at that point where I'm kind of feeling like, damn, I feel like shit, bro. I'm feeling kind of heavy. I sit in the car and I don't feel comfortable. You know, like I said, I had a fire a couple weeks ago and we're working on the fire and I'm dragging this hose and I'm like, shit, bro, I gotta get to work, man. I've been slacking. I've been
bro,
too
your wife's
comfortable.
listening to this.
I've been too comfortable.
Talking about dragging these hoes, and your wife's gonna probably.
She knows what's up. She knows what's up. She knows what's up. Nah. But yeah, I'm like, bro, I got to get back on it. So lately, I've been focusing on my calorie intake, what I'm eating, and I've been focusing on working out, like lifting and cardio.
That's good, bro.
Trying to get back on it. I have been implementing like once a day. I've been trying to do just fruit. So like one of my meals is fruit. Right now, I'm just on watermelon. So
solid start.
I've been cutting up I buy home because it's cheap. It's $5-6, whatever.
We just planted that actually.
You planted a watermelon?
Yeah. Not to distract you.
Oh hell yeah, that's cool. Now, but I've been buying watermelon because it's cheap and I can cut up a lot of it. You know what I'm saying? So I've been doing like a meal, like one of my meals. Instead of eating something like chicken or whatever, rice, blah blah blah, I just eat watermelon.
You should try watermelon for 3 days.
Yes,
just watermelon.
Just see what happens.
Though. Just see what happens.
I mean, if you want to go further, but at least 3 days, you will see a huge difference.
I feel like it'd be tough,
bro. It will, but mentally
huge
though,
difference in your body. You will feel it.
And I can't get a fire and be freaking on watermelon.
Listen, that's what you need is watermelon.
That's what
you should be putting out the fire with watermelon juice, bro. My wife.
I
has
feel
been
so
making,
weak and shit.
You'd be surprised, bro. Maybe the first time you try it. By the second time you try it, not so much. We make smoothies every day. Like probably at least 8 smoothies a day get made in my house, at least. And my wife recently also started doing water. Like she'll just make a watermelon smoothie, like literally just watermelon, and it's almost juice, but then you get a little bit of that fiber, kind of like pulp, like if you're drinking orange juice.
Yeah,
but it's so good, bro.
Yeah, so that's my thing right now. Is I've been either it's a snack or I've tried to replace it as a meal. Like I'll just get a bunch of watermelon. And that's my usually like my lunch or my breakfast.
Don't
lunch
replace it as a meal. That is the meal.
Yeah.
It's right now. It's replaced. maybe we'll get there. I don't know.
If you ever tried, you should start. If you've ever had a juiced cantaloupe, juice a half of a cantaloupe.
Hell yeah!
And I've gotten dizzy chugging it.
I don't know. I may need Chris to really show me.
My lymphatic system was just.
You know what the key is with fruits, bro? You can't think about meals. You got to get rid of that meal shit in your head. We're so brainwashed about meals. We're supposed to just eat when we're hungry. Stop eating when you're not hungry. Yeah. So you need to have bring what if I'm not home and I'm just being lazy like today, I'll just find the nearest Publix and grab a big fruit bowl. It's obviously way more expensive to buy this than it is. That's why people think it's expensive to eat fruit, eat fast, eat well. It's not. If you buy the whole fruit and cut it all up at home, it's not expensive.
It's
but
cheap as fuck, actually.
This is ridiculous, but I'm lazy, I'm on the go, whatever. Yeah. But people, if you think about meals, you're going to think you're hungry, you're going to think you're weak, you're going to think about, you just have to eat until you're satisfied, keep it there, and then whenever you're hungry again, you keep eating.
Because most people think of fruit as a snack.
It's not a snack.
Yeah. And when you get that out of that mindset, like he said, the meal, it's like, you understanding that, because a lot of people will eat fruit and they'll be like, okay, what am I going to eat now?
And you realize how much time you save too. You save so much time not worrying about meals. Yeah. When you're just eating whenever you're hungry, grabbing this, doing what you're doing, eating, you find yourself with 6 extra hours a day, bro. You know what I'm saying? You're not preparing food, you're not looking for food, you're not spending an extra 45 minutes eating. You're like, yo, what am I doing with all this extra time? New hobbies.
Have you gone? I know you've been on the fruit for a while. Have you done where you're eating nothing but fruit and train really hard?
Yes. No, I lied. No.
I would say, I wouldn't say train really hard.
I would say train.
I would say train.
But not
and
hard.
I played a basketball game and like an official game with refs and stuff. So I actually noticed a huge difference in my breath. I was able to, it was crazy to me. My legs, because usually when I play basketball, even back when I was in high school, my legs would have to start sweating for me to actually play for real.
Okay.
Because my legs are so stiff that once I start sweating, boom, now I can move.
Yeah.
My movement was way more flexible. So at that point, I was already ready like that, like from the jump. And I was like, oh, this is what normal people feel like who have regular filtration.
Bro, I ran with him one time, a mile. I was like, wow. I've always been a bad runner.
Yeah.
I felt like Usain Bolt running with him. Not because of speed, but just the fact.
Wait, because Chris was so bad or because you felt so good?
Because he was so bad.
Okay.
Because he had to stop. And I was like, damn. And I'm not a crazy runner. I've been running consistently, but I'm not like an amazing runner. I've got a fat runner's body right now because I haven't been lifting. That's something I want to work on. But that's the one thing I'll say about the fruit thing. I don't want to say it because it sounds bad, but it's just my experience and it's how I feel. I have trained, including weightlifting, running, all that on all fruits. And I do feel weaker, like strength-wise. I feel the most healthy I've ever been in my life. I can go run for miles. I can breathe right. I feel healthy all day. I have energy. But when lifting weights, I cannot lift as much as I did when I was like a crazy bad fat meat eater.
Yeah.
But I know that I also haven't trained as hard as I did when I was eating like that.
Yeah.
So once I train as hard, which hopefully will be soon, in weightlifting and running as I was before eating all fruits, then I'll really be able to tell. But on a surface level, I can't push as much weight. That is my feeling. That's what I've experienced.
Yeah, that's where I feel like I'm going to need to, and I'm trying to do right now is find a balance. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to incorporate the more fruit. And, I mean, but I feel like I still need those carbs. You know what I'm saying? Like I still need the protein from meat in order to lift.
You feel,
especially
though. Let's clarify.
So
yeah, but no, but not even that. It's just like you said, energy levels. You know what I'm saying? Like when you put your body under some weight, dude. I mean,
you're conditioned though. You're also conditioned for like, how old are you?
35.
Bro, I feel you. I'm not saying that feeling is not real, but you've 35 years deep in this. For you to completely make a 180 switch, it's not going to feel the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not going to feel
I was going to also say because the way you might feel like that is because those foods, carbs, and meat and all this stuff, they have stimuli in them. And those you're used to that stimulus inside of your body.
Yeah.
And if you're not taking, this is why I promote fruits and herbs. Because when you're just on fruit, it's going to be harder on your body because it's going to bring out your weaknesses. It's going to bring out things that you didn't know about because you're not drinking coffee no more. You're not doing this anymore. You're not eating those things that are giving you a stimulus. So now it's bringing out the weaknesses of your normal state. When you're eating all fruit, it's bringing out your normal state. That's how you actually are.
It gets worse before it gets better.
Exactly. But then, it gets worse. And then once it starts regenerating or healing your body, then that's when you start feeling better. But the reason why I say take the herbs is because there's a way to do it slower. So if you were to just go all fruits only, it might take a toll a lot on your body. Yeah. But if you were to slowly go into it and you're taking herbs, and the reason why I'm saying herbs is because these herbs, for whatever the reason, even master herbalists don't understand exactly why, but these herbs we just know that they work. These natural herbs help to rebuild, turn on organs and rebuild your organs. It's fact.
Yeah.
We don't know why. I would say it's because there's a consciousness behind these plants that the earth is trying to help us, all this other stuff. Yeah. But that is why you would take herbs on top of that, because it will help you get over those urges and get over the hump. So like, for instance, there's certain herbs like this Parasite M that Dr. Morse has, right? That's a certain formula he has. I would take that because I know for a fact I have parasites that make me urge to eat bread.
And double rice.
And carbs and stuff, right? So when I noticed, if I was to go all fruit right now,
I got a sugar parasite,
I will get
bro.
that. I will get that urge like crazy.
Yeah.
I'll be like, I want some garlic bread or something.
Hell yeah.
But if I take that Parasite M, and I've experimented on this many times, that urge goes away because the parasites are trying to tell you, hey, we need some bread in here, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to help us out and make us survive? But then when you get over that hump, when they all die and they all stop feeding off of you and living off of your body, they all die off, and now you don't have that urge anymore. And that's just one example of an urge.
And when you talk about those parasites, a lot of people get freaked out because the first thing they think of is giant tapeworms, right?
Yeah.
But
these are microscopic.
We all know that we're made up of tons of other microorganisms. Our gut, our bio gut, is full of bacteria that process everything we eat. So when you're talking about parasites, you're talking about, like you said, microscopic, not things you're gonna see when you take a dump, right? And I think
you could, but
that'd be
mainly
extreme though. And I think the coffee, when you talk about coffee, is a good point because that feeling you're talking about is the same thing people have when they talk about not ever being able to stop drinking coffee. Because if they stop, their whole world falls apart. And it's gonna get worse before it gets better every time, right? So of course it's gonna suck at first, but you have to stay focused and know, like, all right, but this is what I'm driving towards. Yeah. And then in your first time going all fruits or all mono watermelon for 3 days, whatever it is that's going on in your body, for him it's the bread and pasta or whatever. I don't really know. For me it's sometimes always different, but pizza pops up a lot for me too. It's like whatever you're craving that you don't know you're craving all the time, that's the first thing that's going to happen. That's going to be the hardest part. Mm-hmm. But you have to know, like, as soon as you get hungry or start craving, you have to grab a bowl and just start eating fruit. And as soon as you start eating the fruit, the craving is like, all right, I'm straight. I'm good.
Yeah, my biggest thing is sugar. Like, I love candy, dude.
That's one of the worst things.
And
I
actually don't like
I never
candy.
did. Even as a kid.
That, bro, that's my weakness.
I mean,
dude.
I ate it
like
as a kid.
My weakness is sweets, dude. And I even, it was maybe about a month ago, maybe, I told my partner, I was like, bro, I think I'm addicted to sugar. I swear. Like,
you are 100%.
Yeah, I'll just have urges to be like, yeah, let's just stop at the dollar store right here. I'm gonna grab a bag, just a bag of candy.
That's like your cigarettes.
Yeah. So I've been kind of off that. And I think that's another reason why I've been using the fruit.
You drink coffee?
Here and there.
Teas, anything like that?
Here and there.
I was going to tell you the thing that helped me a lot get off sugar has been honey and agave syrup.
Okay.
Because both of those things are organic, naturally productive, and they're sweet, but they're not sugar. Yeah. Not like that.
Because it could also be an addiction, not just physically, but also emotionally and mentally.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that needs to be detoxed out as well. It's not just physical.
Yeah.
So once you reach, it's like being withdrawals from drugs. It's the same thing. It's just
exactly.
not cocaine.
It's just not illegal.
Heroin. Yeah. It's the same exact thing. You have to get over that hump, and then now it's better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think I'm definitely addicted to sugar. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I said the watermelon. I've been using the fruit in the watermelon, and I've been trying to at least use that as, like I said, I called it a snack earlier, but I've been trying.
How dare you?
I've been trying to substitute that. You know what I'm saying? Like get away from the processed stuff, or grabbing a bag of Sour Patches and shit, and just scoffing that down all day and stuff,
bro.
And it's one of those things where it's like it is kind of a comfort, you know.
Yeah.
You just got a bag of Sour Patches, and like just
it's easier to get over it too when you start researching into it. So like, for instance,
I said do grapes, I just see him side-eyeing me like, you don't know fucking grapes.
Because like, let's say if I was just to tell you, yo, eat all fruits, it's gonna help you be better. You're not gonna listen to me,
right?
Yeah. Period.
Especially
because
no, I already shut you out.
So because you don't know that fruits is gonna help you.
Yeah.
Once you know that fruits is gonna help you, you're going to do it.
Yeah.
Because I can only guide you in the right direction and tell you, hey, this is gonna help you. It's up to you. You are the only doctor who knows your body the best.
That's what I was saying. I was like, I think I need Chris to go on an all-fruit diet.
This is what I want to
show me.
I need you
to be the first Fruitopian athlete. I want to see you just shredded, bro. This time next year, summer 2023. I want to see Chris shredded.
Listen,
if Chris is shredded next year for the summertime, bro, I'm getting on it. I'm straight
that's
fruit.
It.
No,
that's all I needed. That's it.
I'm straight fruit.
Listen.
If Chris gets shredded, 2023, just on a fruit diet. From here on out, I'm nothing but fruit, baby.
He's
I am nothing but fruit. I'll give up the poison. I'll give up the sugar.
Bro,
I'll stop with the meat.
Listen, I want that too.
Because then he'll lose the only thing he can say about me, which is me
I will
being
be.
fat,
I will
and then
be
that's
so
it. After that, there's
excited.
nothing else to make fun of me about.
No, I will. No, there's plenty more. That's just the easiest thing. There's plenty of things to make fun of you about.
He's like,
I will be so happy if you could get him to do that, bro. Since before we started this podcast, I've been so sad for this man. Listen, I care about this man just like I care about everybody, right? Yeah. But he's trashing himself, and the worst part is he knows it.
He knows, yeah.
And bro, we're very competitive, right, in everything, especially with each other. And he could never beat me in anything. And what sucks is when
straight up lie.
When I went,
I don't even know anything.
When I beat the record, which I'll tell you number one right now. I'll tell you number one. When I beat the record for going all fruits straight, which was I beat 18. He says 18. I'm telling you, he did 14. I did 16.
No, I know.
But
for
anyway,
a fact
is that days?
Days, yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, I did that. I beat his record by 2 days or 1 day. 2 days or 1 day. I think 2.
The reason why, let me just
hold on.
The reason why I know it's more than 14 is because I specifically started getting salt craving at 14, and it took me 2 days after that to actually.
I'm about to jump in this.
Listen,
I'm about to jump in this.
I wish you would, dog. I wish you would.
I go on vacation in July. I will do from here until my vacation. I will do nothing but fruit,
bro. You won't.
What?
Okay.
That means no whiskey either.
Yeah, that means nothing
else.
Only
just water
and fruit. That's it.
Okay.
No, nothing else.
Okay.
Like not even.
Okay.
Like
you'll lose 15 pounds first 2 weeks.
Easy,
like
easy, bro. And you're also
not
gonna
unhealthily.
Because I'm trying to push you guys too. I want to see this shit,
bro. But
that's you tell me
his biggest weakness in this world. If this was Superman, and I'm be clear, it's not. If it was Superman, kryptonite for him is food. That's it.
I would say I've always been a food lover, bro. Since I was little.
I talked about this last time.
I love food.
Since he was a kid, bro, he can't stop, and he also he can't just have a serving. He has to have at least double,
bro.
It has to be at least.
I'm
double.
with you, bro. I'm with you.
And listen,
I'm a fat kid at heart. I love food, and like we talk about the fruit and diet and fitness and shit because we want to live. Bro, I don't want to live forever. You give me to 80,
but I want to live
good. Forever,
but I want to live well.
I'll live 250. I'd want to live
you
that.
give me the 80, I'm all right.
Listen,
I'll see you later. Please.
But I want it to be an enjoyable time. I want to be healthy. I want to be able to live. I don't want to be 70 years old and then not being able to move from there to there without me calling somebody to help.
That's all I need. I just if I can walk around and I can do some shit, I'm good. That's it.
And do some shit.
If I can't use the bathroom by myself,
and do some shit.
If I can't use the bathroom by myself, I'm done. Send me out.
That's it right there.
I'm good.
Yeah, that's it right there. I don't want nobody wiping my ass. Put me out back. Just
Well, like I said, there are people out here who are alive and healthy and young and still can't wipe their ass. So, but like I said, that's the obese people. I don't know why that came back in my head. It's crazy. It drives me nuts.
What were you gonna say? He cut you off. You were gonna say something about Chris needs to do something. Oh, that's what you're talking about.
2020. I mean, a realistic goal I would say is 1 year, right? If you got 1 year, so from today, What's
well, I already fucked up today. From tomorrow.
Yeah.
2023. So May 23rd, 2023. If you can do all fruit and you straight shredded, bro. You looking out. You out here just jacked.
Yeah.
Shout out to Randy, by the way. May 23rd, Randy's turning. I think 25. Just FYI.
I mean, you don't even gotta be jacked, bro. If you just fucking
ripped.
Looking.
No. If he could just be 40 pounds lighter. Listen, that would be fantastic.
I would say 70, but
no. But if you could do 40,
I will jump on the fruit train.
So
bro.
Here's the thing: I'm glad you would, and that's the reason why I want to. Because even though I know what's going on in the body and I know how it works, I want to. You have to lead through example. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah,
even though
absolutely.
All these people listen to these doctors who don't lead through example and don't cure anything, but that's a whole other topic. But you have to lead through example if you're going to try and influence other people. So that's why I want to do it, but that's why I'm not really promoting it as much as far as like the way I want to do it, because I want to do it first and I want to get my structure together so that then at that point, now you're gonna know that what I was saying was true either, because it doesn't even matter to me, because to me it's like whether I do it or not doesn't matter. Is it true or not? And that's the point. But obviously, it's easier to influence people when I do it myself because I'm leading them into it.
And I could see year's not enough.
I could see this being legit. Like I can see eating nothing but fruit being legit, where it helps you, mentally, physically. But I love food, bro.
And that's
I feel
why
you.
there's balance.
I want to
feel
eat
you.
a steak. I want to eat chicken. I want
I
to go out to
feel
a
you.
restaurant with my wife and like
Yeah.
have wine and whiskey and fucking.
You gotta live.
I
You know what I'm
feel
saying?
You
Live.
gotta
I
live.
want to live. So
Mhm. Okay.
I can see the fruit shit, and I mean, I wouldn't mind starting tomorrow. It's a Monday, so it's perfect. I can start tomorrow and go from tomorrow until up until my vacation because I'm not vacation. I gotta enjoy. I gotta live. But I could do the fruit shit.
Listen,
I do the fruit shit, and so I could push you guys to get on your fruit shit.
All right.
Because I feel like, I mean, I don't know. Y'all here promoting the fruit stuff, but I mean, he been snacking on that fruit shit the whole time. I haven't seen Chris really dig into it. But
yeah, all for show.
Let's
Bring a huge bowl to the
He's like, oh,
podcast.
the cameras are out. Let me get the fruit.
This guy, he hasn't ate fruit in 2 years. Brings a bowl.
So what
of
was it?
fruit.
18 days?
yeah.
18 days. Okay.
What I was
I
gonna
could
tell
easily
you,
do 20.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
What I was gonna tell you, you know how many? Listen, you know how many tries it was. just
21
to
is
get-
3 weeks. That's it.
I can't wait to hear what we're gonna have you on for a follow up.
No.
We also we want footage.
Okay.
Now, what you said was important because, like we talked about already with the other things, nobody's perfect, right? I still love food. I still love other things too, and I'm gonna dabble. But the more you understand how important this is, and you actually apply it to regenerate and strengthen and harden your body for those reasons, then when you do dabble, it doesn't affect you as bad. Then when you do dabble, you're not going way spiraling down the path you've been on for 30 years. You're just maybe having an okay time, and then boom, let's get back on our regular jam. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. You know, if someone's fat and overweight and drinks all the time.
Why
and
are you
doesn't
looking at me while you're saying?
and drinks all the time and doesn't eat right, and they do it today, it's gonna be like, wow, that's disgusting. But if somebody comes in here and they work out every day and they're vibrant and they have energy and they have life and they take a shot of whiskey, it's gonna be like, you know, whatever, like, cool, he's good, he's all right.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. Is that so? It takes more. What you were talking about is the experience of eating food, which is a great experience.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not against having experiences, but when you're doing it's this decision of doing them unconsciously or consciously.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're eating that stuff, but then you're complaining about how you feel, how you're walking, how you're breathing, all these things,
How you're living.
you're doing it unconsciously. And then also, even at a deeper level, if you were trying to be at its most conscious and enlightenment and awakened level, you wouldn't even want to eat that. But you would have to want to have that.
Yeah.
But if you don't seek that true enlightenment, then it would be very hard to convince you to be like, just eat fruits, bro, for your whole life. You wouldn't want to, because you're not thinking, I want enlightenment or I want awareness or the highest level of awareness or possibility inside my body that I could have. You're not thinking that. But if you were thinking that and that was your goal, it would be a no-brainer for you to do that, which is what I'm trying to do, because that is what I seek. I'm seeking that ultimate awareness, even though obviously I haven't been following it. But that's the reason why I want to do it, because it's deeper than just just to eat fruits, because of that. It's a conscious thing.
And if we can just promote this continuously so that everyone can just at least get their body to function properly, then make whatever decisions you want. But right now, you're probably not making any making any conscious decisions because your body isn't functioning at its fullest. So then you can't actually make the correct decision. You know what I mean?
No, I know what you mean. 'Cause like I said, when I said I felt like I was addicted to sugar, I could see that in other people not being conscious of that and just making these decisions
And justifications.
built on their urges and shit like that. Yeah.
And they're basing their health off of how I need it. My body's feeling some type of way, so I have to have it.
Yeah.
Where it's like, no, you're just addicted.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it is. But
then you add in the psychological operations of marketing and social media and friends and peer groups, and then it goes out of control.
Yeah.
But it starts just with you, right?
But yeah, man, it was a good talk.
18 days. All right, bro.
Oh, wait.
We're gonna see.
So listen,
I might have to
we're
send
gonna
you boys
see
some
you.
pictures.
You're starting
Okay.
tomorrow.
So starting tomorrow. We're all starting tomorrow?
I'm trying to think what I have.
do it.
What I have over the next.
Oh, we're all starting tomorrow?
We're all starting tomorrow. Or wait, can you start tomorrow?
Can we start Wednesday?
Oh, look at this guy already. Look at this guy.
I didn't
Wants to
count.
know when
No,
you're-
it's just I just got my weekend starts tomorrow with the fam, and I didn't get to eat with them anywhere last week, so I just want to take.
This guy got
Eat
a
with them
sob
today.
story, bro.
It's not too late.
By the time I get home,
today.
they'll be sleeping.
You can start on Tuesday. I'll start tomorrow.
Okay, bet.
I'm trying to think of what I have.
Nah, he's gonna be
in the
like,
next
yeah, I'm
couple
just gonna
months.
start with you on Tuesday.
I mean, I go on vacation in July, and I'm trying to think what I have in between now and then. With it'll interrupt.
Look, how about this?
See, that's the fault.
No,
Yeah.
you know what? No,
It is.
I'm gonna
Listen.
No. Fuck, whatever.
He said, "Fuck it."
Start tomorrow.
Tuesday.
No, I'm gonna start tomorrow.
Okay, you start tomorrow.
Right.
We start Tuesday. No, Wednesday.
I'm starting tomorrow.
All right, fuck it.
Okay. And I'm gonna send you pictures.
I'll
Alright.
start Wednesday
I'm
because
gonna send
I
you
got a
pictures
weekend.
of my meals.
I'm gonna send you a pic. I was just gonna say.
Oh yeah, Andy's gonna be watching
Okay.
Chris.
I'm
Hell
going
yeah.
on nothing but fruit. I'm gonna have to go shopping. I'm going on nothing but fruit up
Yeah.
until my vacation or
Dog,
until
I'm-
one of you tap out.
Bro, you're
I ain't
not
tapping
gonna.
out.
You
I
can't.
ain't
First of
tapping
all,
out.
You only did 18 days.
I am the
I
champion.
don't tap out.
I'm holding
if
the
I was in
belt.
MMA, I ain't tapping out.
This
You
guy
gotta
said
kill me.
18 days. That's nothing.
First of all, I'm
did
the
2
belt
months.
holder. I'm the only one with fruit in here. You're holding whiskey in your hand. Okay?
I did 2 months, no sugar,
Chris
no
has
processed
probably
sugar.
got double hibachi rice on the other side of that coffee table. I'm telling you. First of all, I will be
I ate
both
Kobe's
of
the
you.
other day, actually.
But listen,
anyways,
what
I
I,
don't wanna
hold
talk
on.
about that.
We could do. That sounds banging. We could do. You could do like just try to get 5 days, bro. I think that's a good first challenge. 3 might be too
no,
light.
bro.
Nah.
He's going all in.
If
bro.
I'm gonna do it, I'm diving deep.
Yeah.
You're a grown ass man.
Right.
Fucking
Yeah.
firefighter. Think you got balls.
But hey,
and
Bro,
shit.
everything in my life,
So-
I just been thrown in the fire. So here we go.
Hey, I like what you did
Alright.
there.
All right. So we're gonna be sending pictures of fruit, not
I mean, of our meals throughout
meals,
the day,
yes.
right? So just water and fruit.
No,
Yep.
we're not doing meals. Remember,
Remember-
get that shit out of your
What
head.
I'm saying, just water and fruit.
yes,
water and fruit.
yes.
Water. and fruit.
Water-rich fruit, and avocado is not a fruit. Tomatoes,
Avocado is a fruit.
Avocado
okay,
is
but
a
not
fruit.
doesn't count.
Yeah, it
That
still
doesn't
counts
count.
as
It has
all
fats
fruit.
and stuff. It's not water-rich.
Okay, but it still counts in the all fruit
Yeah,
category.
tomatoes are fruit.
That's a cheat.
Avocado
No,
is
it's
fruit.
not a cheat.
It
bro.
is.
It's a
It's-
fruit.
Trust me,
On the-
avocado is not up there with what I'm saying.
Okay,
as far
I
as-
know it's not as high on the spectrum, but it's still a fruit.
I mean, if you want to add it in, I'm not gonna eat avocados. I'm just saying.
Avocado's fine. Bro.
Avocado's cool.
If
with me.
anytime I've
All right,
gone
so
all fruit,
2-1, you good?
anytime I've gone all well, that's what in the record in my time I eat avocado, so it will only be fair.
Okay.
It's still fruit.
No nuts, just fruit.
No
It's not
nuts.
gonna gonna turn you into like an animal. You're not gonna eat
T-
avocado and be like, I'm
I
gonna
get-
get a chicken tender pub sub.
I can eat tomatoes.
no,
No,
I wouldn't say no.
Tomatoes
I
are
would
fruit.
say no to tomatoes as well.
No.
Fuck that.
And it's water rich.
Tomatoes are vegetable. I don't
No,
care what
no,
anybody
no.
said.
Oh, come on. Man.
No, it's not. Nah.
No. Water. The tomato doesn't count.
Okay.
It's too acidic.
Yeah. But yes, so we're gonna start that tomorrow.
Okay.
But
My wife's not gonna like this shit, but okay.
Yeah,
I'ma get home.
We're gonna get a text like, "Yo, my bad, dog. I'm not gonna be able to do it."
he's gonna send me his first picture of a meal is gonna be
Nah,
steak and rice.
She don't care. As long as I make her
Right.
food, she'll be all right.
All right. Well, hey,
We appreciate you coming through, bro.
yes,
for real.
man.
Thank you for having me.
It was a
Sorry,
great
I
talk.
decided to
It was-
finish your sentence.
It was
for
a
you.
great time, but yeah, we doing this, right?
All right.
Yeah, man.
So we gotta update the people. I guess next time you come on, we'll talk about what happened when you left.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a picture
Let's do
tomorrow.
All
Like
right,
before
brother.
and after.
Let's
Thank
do
you,
it.
man.
Thank
We
you, bro,
appreciate
for
you. Have a
coming
good one.
on.
Hey, be safe out there, bro. For real. Thank you.
Yes.
Man.
Thank you.
Thank you,
guys.
bro.
All
Thank
right.
you.